I'm MC Toon, and it's Tuesday afternoon, and we got a debate with a flat earther. This flat earther, Tacori Dawson, is a friend of Javante, or you may know Javante as the Egyptian god Thoth slash Ra. He thinks that's what he is. The bringer of wisdom or some nonsense like that. Anyway, he's a friend of Javante, and Javante's in a group with other people that are learning how to destroy myself and FDFE in live debates. So far, none of them have nothing has netted from this group that they're in, including Tacori showing up. That's right. Tacori wanted this. He wanted it at 5 o'clock today because he's in Houston and has other things to do later tonight. So nothing yet from him. So I have sent him the link. I called him on Facebook a couple times. We'll see if he shows up. Javante has a habit of being incapable of keeping a schedule. Maybe Tacori has the same problem. In the meantime, I've got a couple things. Robeeb had a super chat, and I really hope that this isn't the that it's predictive text and you just hit random stuff, because it's not English. But Robeeb said for $5, why do they call it oven when you in the cold food out of hot eat the food? Checkmate, Globers. So there you go. That sounds like I said, I hope it's. And Dora Nku for €2 says it is live derp. Flurf to get full worth of 50 character. Filler to get full worth of fair. Thank you very much, Dora. I put in the chat, I'm going to do it another time here, the Flurf wiki. Now, Tacori, I don't think has an entry on here, so maybe somebody wants to do an entry for Tacori. But there's a bunch of other missing people on the Flurf wiki, like Jaren doesn't even have a page on there. The original, well, one of the original two that were in the movie that confirmed that the Earth is a globe. silly. All right, let's see here. Do you want to see the conversation? I'll show it. I'll show you the conversation with Tacori. Let me prep it. Oh, he's yeah, poor guy. What are you gonna do? It's the wrong one. Got that. I need to set up the scene. Wasn't ready to set it up, so get rid of that. All right. Add a scene. Not a scene. Add a window capture. We call it Facebook Messenger. There it is. Where'd it go? There we go. So yeah, this is a chat with myself and Tacori and a few other people that are Javante's friends. So here we go. All right, so there is the call. We'll roll this back a little bit here. Here, this is a little behind the scenes for you. He's like demanding proof of gravity, so I sent him some experiments, and he's like, you need to break down these formulas for me. I'm like, no, I don't. If you don't understand it, that's on you, not me. So yeah. Let's see. Didn't you debate? So Tacori, didn't you debate Michael and his channel? I want to see that debate. Lamau. It was hilarious. No wonder he's so scared to debate me again. Where's the link? I'll debate you on gravity, he says right there. You see that? I'll debate you on gravity. If I can destroy gravity, I can destroy that magical ball of water completely in your heliocentric none space sense. I'm like, all right, well, let's do it tomorrow. That'd be tonight at 10. And he says, well, look at that. He's got, I'm like, dude, what are you talking like that for? Anyway, he has to, it'll be too late. He says he's in Houston. I said 5. 6, he said 5. So this was the time that he chose. The time of his choosing. He said Wednesday. I said, I can't on Wednesday. He said, okay, Tuesday then. So then he wanted the debate linked from when Javante was on, the Flat Earth Thoth guy. And then I even sent him the link to this. And he's like, okay, he's getting out of YouTube jail today. He's got the link to his YouTube channel is in the description. It's got one video, which is a test from a year ago. So yeah, was Travis in that chat? Travis. Well, let's see. There's nobody named Travis in that chat. The Kitsuni Cavalier. John Suffield says, please explain southern circumpolar stars. I can, but I don't think Tacori can. Almaraki says, good takedown of Witsit on Facebook. Yeah, poor Witsit. I mean, I just totally demolished him. Because he constantly says that he claims constantly that NASA uses only flat Earth for eclipse predictions, which is completely ridiculous. And I'm like, well, just send the link to that. And he sends like 20 links to NASA pages that say that they use ELP 2000, which is a geometric model of the Earth, Moon, and Sun system. Doesn't, yeah. Oh, you did see that? Yes, all right. The Kitsuni Cavalier. You did see the Mona Lisa, but that wasn't the same as Travis, whatever his last name is, the Plain Truth. It's a different one. So, all right, let's keep going. So, yeah, that's his friend April, who apparently went to, is well educated in engineering. Turns out she's not. She didn't study engineering in the end. Anyway, so, but it's up now, so I can destroy Michael Toon and Gravity. I say, I'll send a Zoom link. You can stream your side however you want. Goes, cool, remember you begged for this work. And then there's a screenshot where he said, I'll debate you on Gravity. Like, he was volunteering. But I had been asking. I'll give him that. So, all right. So there it is. I've at 2 o'clock today. So 3 hours ago, he was ready to go. And here it is. He hasn't even read these messages. What is up, Tacori? Are you scared? Brian Leake said he likes talking to you, so he'd probably come on if you contact him. Oh my gosh. Yes, Dora. It is Travis Findley, I think, with the D. Right. Brian Leake's internet is so terrible when he's in his garage or mom's basement or wherever he is, but all right, I will send Brian a invitation. Had a guy agree to debate on Gravity, but he failed. What to fill in? I do have one later tonight. This one later will be something. So if you remember last week, I had Shane St. Pierre and his friend Cracker, and then some lady who came in briefly. Cracker could not control himself, and I messaged Shane. I said, how about Cracker comes on and you be the moderator? Like handing everything to him. Because I don't care. It's all good. So yeah. So he's going to moderate, and Cracker wrote down some very strict rules. So he's not going to show evidence for flat Earth. Well, aren't you admitting that there's no evidence for flat Earth by refusing to do that? I mean, I'm happy to show evidence for the globe because there's so much of it. And no video is allowed. So I won't be sending my video over Zoom, and he won't be. and no formulas are allowed. So no formulas. So he's admitting that he can't do math. Anyway, so nothing from Brian, people. Well, I don't know. What is going on? Just call me Avi says, when the Flurfs fail to show up, Lego is always good. Yeah, you're right. Lego is always good. We'll see. We'll see. So nothing from Brian there still. You know who I've been wanting to get on? If anybody can get Lemon Bird's ear. I haven't had Lemon Bird on for a while, and I messaged him and nothing. Oh, Brian says, sup, give me a minute. All right. Well, here comes the Zoom link to Brian Leake. There it is. So, on gravity, what was Tacori going to do to destroy gravity? Now, I have seen Tacori in one other debate. And what he did, and this is classic Flurf, he made many claims. And at the end of many, many claims, it was just a shotgun claim session, he's like, ha-ha! Like, hold on, that was just a bunch of claims. Where's the actual, evidence behind those claims? Nowhere. And I really got thinking about that to the mind of a Flurf, these claims, it's just a hypothesis, right? They say the sun does this, the gravity is something else. It's all just a hypothesis. To the tiny mind of a Flurf, stating a hypothesis that they agree with, to them is proof. That's how it is to them. So it's a strange thing that they are so bad at science, yet of course think they're super good at science. So yeah, Lemon goes by a different name now. On YouTube he's Arl Envy, something like that. And I have it right. If everybody messages him, is MC Tunes talking smack, you gotta go set him straight. I'll find Lemon Bird. Where did he go? Oh, I have an Evernote. I have it in Evernote. Oh, Bite Mahagus is here. Or Bite Mahagus. He's Bite Mahagus. Anytime with your big talk, you can come in. You have a open microphone to come in and prove all your claims. All right. Oh, there's Lemon Bird. If you've ever used the new Evernote, it's just terrible. All right. Fythus. There is his name on Discord. There it is. I don't know why he's so scared. And there's no like for Lemon Bird. Fythesis? There's no number. A lot of the time on Discord there's a number. Anyway, everybody, if you're on Discord, grab that, go over to Discord and send a message to Lemon Bird and tell him, hey Lemon, MC Toon is talking smack. Hold the invites. Well, so far we are 15 minutes in and Tacori has not even read the message. So what are you going to do? What are you going to do? Now, the Flat Earthers have just been absolutely beside themselves with the Celestial Navigation Challenge. All they do, it's the same thing. They make claims and they think that the claim is all. That's it. As soon as a claim is made, that there can be nothing else. So Oakley makes a claim about how you need certain things in order to measure an angle. It's not true at all, but because he said it and his gullible, ignorant, indoctrinated followers have heard it many times, they think it's true. So you see it on Facebook, you see it everywhere else, them making these same claims. And Brian Leake, credit to him, he's the only flat earther that's actually put forth an effort to do the celestial navigation. I did get one from Trulon, who basically used the same mechanism. He presumed that light refracts upward a dramatic amount, and then used globe measurements like 60 nautical miles and different ways to do the circles of equal altitude. But it's basically the same method as Brian Leake did, which uses the globe and thus confirms that the Earth is a globe. So, oh my gosh. Jay McLaugh. Lemon is resting up. He, I won't read it. On Gems earlier, it was comical. Yes. Did this debate clown chicken out? So far it's chicken out. I'll send that message to him. So far, it looks like you chickened out, Tacori. And Brian, where's Brian? What's going on? And I was excited because I don't get to do I don't do early streams very often. So I was, it's exciting. And some people that are in not America can watch it because the time zone matches a little better. But nothing yet. How do we know that Raj H, how do we know Tacori hasn't been silenced by NASA? Well, I guess. You ever watch them doing live streams? The super paranoid ones, and they're like, oh, every single technical problem that they have is NASA trying to stop them. Like, if NASA really wanted to stop them, like this organization that they would, like, they wouldn't be, no technology would work, every phone that they touched wouldn't work, yet somehow they're able to do it. Maybe, just maybe, the technical problems are pebcacs. The problem exists between keyboard and chair. So all right, we've got Tiny Captain sent a DM to Lemonbird. Who else has? Jay McLaugh, didn't mean to be crude. Lemon lost his temper in a big way when nobody was buying the idiocy he was preaching. Oh no, I appreciate the I'm just got to be careful reading it, that's all. Second best Bob says be early more often. All right, well, I can do that. So now I have another channel now. If it is the channel formerly known as Conspiracy Cats. Super generous of him to give that over to myself. He did the same with the Baldy Cats channel to Mr. Sensible. We flipped a coin to see who got what. And Conspiracy Cats, or just Cats, is still going on a different channel, Culture Cats. So if you haven't subscribed to Culture Cats yet, be sure to do that. My pre-recorded videos are going to go primarily on the channel formerly known as Conspiracy Cats. It will eventually just be named MC Toon, but I'm slowly changing the name. Brenda says, I was mean to Lemon on Gems. Maybe he will join if you promise you can get another shot at me. To be fair. I'll do that. All right. I'll do that. Lemon, you can get back at Brenda. But nothing. He doesn't respond to me. I have message after message from him. Yeah, the last time he sent anything to me was in 2020. October 2020. So it's been a year and a half since Lemonbird responded to me on there. So Gregorio Gannon the Fifth says, if you need a Flurf substitute, I'm up for the job. I can science deny with the best of them. I come in 4 styles: Witsit, Santos, JM Truth, and Kevin. Oh my gosh. That's funny. You like order up and like do 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 do. I want to flurf in the style of Witsit. Can you talk that fast and make no sense? See, that's a all right. I'm calling BS on that. It takes a certain skill set to talk that fast, use that many technical words, and still just say BS. Right? Uh, so anyway, I had no idea, but getting Conspiracy Cats' channel meant that in the backyard, NASA dropped off a shed, and apparently Dell lives in that shed in my backyard. If you watch one of his recent streams, he even says on there that he's thinking about leaving Scotland. He was just foreshadowing that he's coming to Minnesota. So, oh, and sad news, everybody. Sad news. My keyboard died. It's over there. My silent keyboard died. So if you've heard me typing, it's because I've got the old noisy one here. And don't worry, I ordered up a new one already. It'll be here in a couple days. So yeah, all right, yeah. So we got Dell in the backyard. Dell will be making an appearance on a lot of those videos. The one I've got planned for this week, he's gonna be in again. He can't get out of there. So Zoomy says, sorry about leaving Dell's shed there. We had to drop it off somewhere. The nice thing is though, the badger infestation is completely gone. He has eaten all of them. So, oh, the extra. I am hip says I bought the extra clicky DOS keyboard. Oh, I don't like noisy keyboards. This one is noisy. I don't like it. The noise cancellation I have is pretty good. General, the Golden Knight says it's really too bad Dell wasn't under the shed when it was dropped there. I think it was inside the shed. All right, hold on. We got a couple here. Ira Gwynn says, hello, MC Toon. Don't know how to do Discord. Nail the bugger up. And Earth is Life says, for $5, been trying to set up a date between Witsit and Professor Dave. Except he wrote Processor Dave. That would be quite entertaining. And yes, I would love to see that too. Teresa B says, what's the topic tonight? It's supposed to be gravity with Tacori Dawson, but you can see right there, he has received the link and he has not answered yet. Just feed him a steady diet, Zoomy says, of badgers and possums, and you'll be fine. Roadkill also works in a pinch. Yep. Well, where is Brian? Oh, okay. Brian Leake was not online before, and now he's online. So looks like he's maybe getting himself ready. Oh, my kid's like, when can I bring in the cats? Yes, I see that Brian is in the Discord. So, let's see. Hold on. Let my wife know that the cats can come in. Are polytrons or pushytrons a thing in flat Earth? I've only heard that sarcastically. There are, and I covered it last week, there are 6 different attempts at explaining gravity from the flat earthers. I posted it on Quora, my list. I have it in Evernote, but this was the first time I've actually published it somewhere. I'll go over that in a second. First of all, I see Hannibal True Silence says, I can do one better. I can not tech like Santos. I totally understand cations with cations. Plus, I won't bring any evidence whatsoever. I can deny with the best of them. Sounds like you could make a good sock account flurf on Facebook. They're good at that. All right, so the 6. There you go. 6 replacements for gravity attempts. I'll go over them quickly. I covered it last week. I'm thinking I might do a recorded video on it. Number 6, in order of decreasing ridiculousness. The most ridiculous is the ones that are just words, like in dielectric incoherent acceleration. What is it? Nobody knows. It's just words. They say that's what it is, and then they don't even have an offered explanation for it. That's number 6. There's not much to talk about. They don't offer anything. Number 5 would be variations of electromagnetism. So electrostatics, electromagnetism, electrodynamics, magnetism, all of those things, but none of them actually work when you test their hypothesis, being Mute Donkey says Brian is asking for a link in Discord. I sent him a link. I DM'd him a link. He can't tech. Who's surprised that he cannot tech? All right. Is he in the main Discord? My main channel, let's see. I sent it to him in a DM. So you send him that Mute Donkey, can you tell him it's in his DM? He just needs to click on what else can you do but send it to him in a DM and he gets it or not? All right. So number 5 is the variations on electromagnetism. None of it works because if 2 things are at the same electrical potential, then Brian's here. You'll have to get that later. Just a second, Brian. There's a name showing that's not you. You can change it if you want. Brian. He's trying, I think. All right, I gotta add in the window capture for Zoom, and then there we go. Why it's not showing. I don't hear him either. Flurf having technical problems. No surprise. So, all right. I'm working to get it set. He's here. He can't get it working. Whatever. Of course, there's 2 of me that I see.
Can I get a mic check?
Yep, it's on.
Yeah, I just changed my name real quick.
Are you gonna be on screen?
Yeah, in just a minute, man. Let me put some clothes on.
I appreciate that.
That might help, huh?
He was shirtless. There you go. There's 2 of me. Enjoy. Teresa B says, want to talk to people in Discord because I'm here. Well, we got a Brian Leake here. So do you think Brian's ready to talk about gravity? What do you think? Switch to one of me for now. I do enjoy talking about gravity. All right, while he's coming. The 4th least ridiculous is the buoyancy density, which seems to be the most common one. That's number 4. Number 3 is the upward acceleration. It kind of works because it actually gives a number. And 9.8 meters per second squared can actually be gotten out of that. It doesn't work for a lot of other reasons, but it actually gives you a number. Of course, the stationary flat earthers reject it. Number two is infinite plane. If you have a plane that's a certain thickness and mass, and it goes on indefinitely or nearly indefinitely, you actually could have a somewhat consistent downward acceleration if mass attracts mass, which it does, of course, but that actually provides a little bit of an explanation. It would not be very stable, and any variations in the distribution of mass would cause it to likely collapse. And there is definitely distribution of mass, so that wouldn't work either. And the number one, least ridiculous, but still ridiculous, is that the Earth is on some sort of a train track or a train track or like held up by a pivot, and it's going around in circles. So anyway, so somehow in the entire Earth, they think there are a few, not many, is somehow on this, and it's spinning in circles. They think it's quite silly. Doesn't explain variations in mass very well, and of course, because rotation is absolute, the measurement of that would be measurable with ring laser gyroscopes or other types of Sagnac effect or mechanical gyroscopes or stuff like that, but it doesn't work out. So Joe Blogg says the worst is the nuh-uh theory. Gravity doesn't exist, full stop. That's typically all they have. Let's see. Tiny Captain says Brian was talking to us at Jose Daily Boom about the misunderstanding of direction of sunlight and moon phases. Jeez. How about Golden Knight says, how about cosmic Velcro? Which side would be which? Cosmic Velcro? I don't know. Is that sarcasm? All right. We have a shirted.
How you doing today, man? You doing okay?
I'm great.
I didn't know. I didn't even think to check DMs, man. I was looking up because last time you emailed me, and right when you said that, I joined Discord and didn't even think to check DMs, man.
Oh,
so right
okay.
when you said it was, I joined.
All right.
So here I am.
So
man,
Rob,
I'd like to talk about gravity today, man. I'll let you start.
all right. Well, Rob Parks says no relative density disequilibrium. Well, Rob Parks, that would be part of item number 4, the buoyancy and density. I think it's just a variation on that. Let's see. Teresa B says, ask Brian, how does a man in China see a full moon, but in New Zealand doesn't see a dark moon? It's a good question.
Good question. Yeah, that's a very good question.
Because I can draw that out. So all right, let's hear your explanation while I draw it.
Wait, say that again. A man in China sees a full moon.
Yep.
What's the man in New Zealand see?
He also sees, in reality, he also sees a full moon, but on the flat Earth, you'd see a different part of right?
But are you sure about that?
Yeah, that's easy to demonstrate. All right, I'm gonna do a pretty sloppy. Here's the sloppy flat Earth map, right? A lot of flat earthers don't think that there's a map anyway. You don't need a map, so I don't know. Do you think there's a map? Do you have a map? Do you think
Yeah. Show me on the Ash or the Pac-Man model. Show me how it would work.
well, there's a lot of Pac-Man models. There's Daz Nez. There's Awake Souls. So
show me the looping diamond.
All right, here's the AE. I already started on the AE. So there you go. You got China there, you got New Zealand there, and they are on the opposite sides of the moon. One would see full, the other would see mostly not full. So that
Hey,
doesn't
you
make
didn't.
sense.
Hey, man, tell me you didn't copyright that, did you?
What? No, Gleason did when he said it was a projection from the globe. Right?
Yeah, I'm working on a map, man. It's harder than you think, bro.
Actually, it's pretty easy. I've done a flat Earth map. I've done 2 of them.
Let me ask you. Hey, you say Trulon turned in his He asked me because I'd already dealt with you. He asked me, what to expect and all that. I told him, if you're going to use anything, if you're going to try and use any, you're going to have to make your own map to for this challenge because
I gotta open my tab here.
you can't use any map that are out or online because he's just going to call it a glow projection. He tried to explain to me that he's given an explanation of why the heavenly bodies like the sun or the stars. He's basically given an explanation of why they show up 69 miles per degree. I said, I already tried that, and it was in your to be technical, it was in your rules and all that. So like that's why I'm not going around claiming that I won.
A lot of people there are people that say that you won.
Well, tell them thank you. I want a beer.
All right, when you're in Minneapolis, let me know.
Before it's over with, man, I will come get that damn beer, Mike.
Before what's over with?
Or we're over with.
Okay.
But
it was the same thing. It was upward bending.
It doesn't make him a winner. I will give you that.
Upward bending light for no reason, and then used 60 nautical miles per degree, which is, 1/3,600th of the radius of the Earth, right? The globe.
He started his out in space, so the ground didn't even matter, and then he put it to the ground,
Yeah,
so
but
the
when
map didn't matter.
But when you put right in the end, you don't need a map if you can just give me the degrees, right? The latitude, longitude. But he did the same thing you did. He had the upward refracting light for no reason. Right. And he's like, well, I'll presume nothing. And then he just did a coordinate transform. And I'm like, yeah, but what you did is you showed that light must necessarily bend upwards, and there's no reason for that. You need to show why. You need to show measurements. So, Secret G is saying, can you pronounce your last name?
Leaky.
Leaky.
Yeah, and that's the last time I'm ever going to say it.
Okay.
But I want to say, did you see the model that he made? It was pretty interesting to say.
Yeah, I read the whole thing a couple times. So, all right. So why would people not see different parts of the moon here?
Different parts of the moon?
Yeah, different side, right? If the moon's
I'm
there
not sure
between,
would they even both see the moon at the same?
Yeah, New Zealand and China can, or where? I mean, this is not even close to accurate, right? But that there are definitely places where you can put people on the AE map on opposite sides of the moon, yet in reality they see the same phase of the moon.
Must be up there a good little ways, man. If we're seeing the same phase, or maybe it's not a ball. Maybe it has to do with the light refraction. Maybe it's 4-dimensional. Maybe I don't know.
A lot of maybes. Yeah, maybes don't actually beat empirical measurements.
Maybes come with an open mind, though, man.
Maybe
I'm not going to get drilled down on no model.
At best, maybe is a hypothesis, and that's being a bit generous.
Well, I could claim the moon's a model killer, man, but that's going to get us started down a whole different path, man. I thought we wanted to talk about gravity.
All right, let's hear about gravity.
I wanted to know exactly what it is you're asking for, so I can so I know which route to go.
Well, mass attracts mass. That has been empirically confirmed many times for a long.
Wait. Yeah. Where has mass been shown to attract mass?
In many experiments and observations and measurements.
Because if you're referring to Cavendish, man,
I said many. Yes.
Yeah,
But
I know, but
I'll pull
everybody,
up.
I only ever get Cavendish, just so you know.
I'll happily pull up. I mean, have you not? I post my website all the time.
Well, let's start with Cavendish and tell me if this changes because
No, let's not start with Cavendish because it was.
can I make a point?
I like one. How about this? Let's start with the BIPM measurement of the Newtonian constant of gravitation by Terry Quinn, Clive Speake, Harold Parks, and Richard Davies in 2014.
Showing mass attracts mass.
Yes.
All right, what masses are attracting each other?
What masses are attracting each other?
Yeah.
The masses that they put in the experiment there.
Okay, well so if they use lead, okay, let's just say they did like Cavendish. Maybe they didn't, but let's just say if they did, hypothetically speaking. I got to look into this a little further, but
okay.
So to me that's paramount to me saying that I could do an experiment and I could say that heat melts mass. So my experiment is that heat melts mass. So what I do is I get some lead and I get my torch real hot and then the mass melts. So obviously heat melts mass, right?
Okay.
My point being is that when you just make a bold claim that mass attracts mass, what is mass? I mean, mass is a measurement in units.
Yeah.
So if I say that heat melts mass, what's the damn difference in saying mass attracts mass? Really, all he proved was lead attracts lead, right?
No. You can test it with different materials.
I've seen it tested with different materials, and I've seen it with a sandbag, and it repelled. And then I've seen it with water, and I watched it stall. I've seen lead repel lead, but that was due to electrostatic supposedly. But you want that experiment.
Yeah, you want to. So if you are hypothesizing that lead attracts lead, so then you would have the burden of evidence to show that lead in and of itself attracts lead and not mass attracting mass. So you'd need to have a controlled measurement of that, which all you have is a guess, a hypothesis, a hope, a wish, a dream. Maybe. But this particular, just for reference, this particular one did not use lead. They used, I think it's a copper alloy. Let's see. They have a torsion strip. There's the torsion. Oh, I need to share this to you so you can see it. Just a second, Brian. You're going to want to see this. And then I'm sure, and I'll send you the link, and then you can pour over the details that they did there and how they did it. So, all right. What they use is a particular alloy of metal that is very unsusceptible to magnetism. And then they demagnetized it too. There it is. A cylindrical copper tellurium test masses is what they used. So copper tellurium.
In my opinion, man, they're gonna have to and I'm not saying this is impossible now. And maybe they got it right out of the gate, but to be skeptical about it, in fact, I've already set up. I got the lead balls and I got the setup, but I haven't got around to it yet. But I'm gonna try the lead balls first, and instead of measuring the amounts and make it like quantitative, I'm gonna do a qualitative type of Cavendish, and I'm gonna try different materials, man. Because in my opinion, we got to try like all kinds of different materials, man. That would be the variable, right?
Well, yeah, that'd be a good idea. So are you going to use a torsion wire so that the twist strength isn't prevented? I saw somebody had used chain, like big chain, and they're like, haha, it doesn't work. Like, hold on a second, you use chain. Are you expecting that chain to twist? You should not.
Yeah.
So you
I'm
need
definitely
to
not
have
going to use chain.
a torsion wire. All right, here is the question isn't whether or not there is the specific torque. That you're not asking that. You're asking whether or not it does it at all. So
Well, just to be skeptical, man. But like I said, whether they have it right or not.
You're
Hey,
not
do me a
being.
favor.
You're not
Mike,
being.
hey,
Yeah. Go ahead. What happened?
put a picture of me up so I can turn my camera off, so I ain't got to hold this thing like this. All right.
All right. Oh, I have a picture of you from last time, I think.
Give me a new picture, man.
You want a new picture? Oh,
yeah, man.
So demanding. Hold on a second. I have to stop sharing. All right. You ready?
I'm ready.
Smile. Got it. All right, I'll swap it in.
Thank you, man.
All right, so there is one. This is the BIPM measurement of the gravitational constant, but they introduced a mass, and it caused a torsion, a twist. But there's others. That's not the only one, and I'll share this.
So there's others, like with other pretty much like other torsion balance experiments with different masses attracting.
Yep, there's a large number. So that particular one was done inside of a vacuum chamber. This one here, a measurement of G with cryogenic torsion pendulum. This was inside a cryogenic vacuum chamber. In an underground bunker, they used liquid helium to cool it down, and they used 58 kilogram copper masses. So 58 kilogram is a decent mass.
Them things are pretty sensitive, man. So I was like come up with the idea, like we should be able to, well, I guess as long as we're not at the equator, especially if we're at like 45 north latitude or maybe even higher than that, we should be able to, I don't think a torsion balance, especially one as sensitive as the Cavendish setup.
What?
Due to the Earth's rotation, human cannot feel it. It's like just out of our range of shit. But
Earth rotation is consistent, so I don't know why you'd think that would have an effect on it.
The constant acceleration, right?
Yeah, that constant acceleration is upward.
Okay.
Which is
it shouldn't detect.
Yeah, which
that's
is
why I was saying. That's why I was saying the closer we get toward the North Pole, right?
No, it has nothing to do with it because it's orthogonal to the plane of the torsion bar. It's been negated. That particular conflating variable or confounding variable has been controlled because it's hanging on a torsion wire. And the acceleration due to centrifugal force is consistent. It doesn't change. The rate at which the Earth...
when they make a joke about it, they say like, a gnat spark can make the thing move. They say that because it takes forever to, I mean, I did set it up. I just didn't record it, but it did take forever for the thing to stop. In fact, I just really gave up. I know it eventually will stop. I've seen people make it stop, but it's real hard to get it to stop.
Sometimes they hang something in a vessel of oil. So it's got a little viscosity. So below the torsion wire, they'd continue the wire down and then let it hang in oil so that it would stop it from twisting. So that's one way they do it. Another is they just don't care. You don't have to stop it from oscillating.
Yeah, you don't.
You can just measure.
Stop it completely.
You can measure the two extremes of the oscillation, right?
Let me say one other thing about it, man. One other thing, because I was into that, man. I'm interested in seeing what's out there, and I was very interested watching Blue Marble Science. He made a really nice setup and all that, and I watched hours and hours of it, man. And my criticism, my constructive criticism toward that would be like when he was trying to get it to work and trying to get it.
Well, your network connection, it's never any good. Dude, you should like get a Wi-Fi router out there.
Yeah, let me see if I can get close to my router, if that helps, man. Hold on. Really not that far away from it. But if this is any better, if you can hear me, I watched Blue Marble Science in his setup and everything. It's cool. First off, can you hear me any better?
I can hear you.
Okay, and he he put a lot of work into it. If I'm going to give him constructive criticism, I'd say that you know, he during his setup and on his way to he not sarcastic comment, like you said, at one point I proved that mass repels mass, but then he took and he grounded them all together, all the balls together, and then he connected them to a ground, and then he tried it, and he had a couple of them. He changed the wire out, and then he had to put foil up around copper foil around it, and everything that went wrong, he was just saying is electrostatics. You know, everything went wrong. I did this. Electrostatics was wrong. And I did this, and then he did the sandbags, and it was actually the sandbag that stalled. And he's like, "Oh, it stalled. That's electrostatics." So every time it went wrong, it was electrostatics. But when everything was fine tuned and working perfect, oh, there it is, mass attracting mass.
Awesome.
I mean, that's a hell of a jump.
That's how you do science. You control your confounding variables.
But that's my point. The variable the whole entire way when he was getting different actions, repulsion, stalls, different attractions, everything that went wrong, the variable was electrostatics. But then when everything worked just right, then it was mass attracting mass. That to me is my constructive criticism.
All right.
But I wanted to challenge, like a question challenge, see, because I wanted to ask you, do you consider gravity the cause or the effect? And what we're describing.
You want to talk Einstein? Tell you what, I'm trained as an engineer. I love just living in the Newtonian realm because
that's fine too, man. But I didn't know that was the implications of that question, bro.
Yeah, because Brian, this is a Newtonian world, and I am a Newtonian girl.
Okay, but I didn't know that question had them kind of implications. Are they different? Is one of them assuming cause and one effect?
If you want to get into Newtonian versus Einsteinian, you go ahead, read up on it, get your calculus, get your matrices, get your differential equations backed up and all that, and then go participate in the discussion with the people that are on the leading edge of that particular topic.
I don't know if you heard me, bro, but I didn't know that question had them type of implications. Are they different? Like, is Newtonian and Einstein one cause and one effect?
Hold on a second. I have been handed a cat. She wants to be on. This is Raccoon. Hello, say hello, Raccoon. There's a chipmunk that's been outside, and the cats have been watching cat TV, which is just the window. Thank you.
Cat TV. That's funny, man. That's funny.
But yeah, so to just speak of Newtonian, mass attracts mass. Gravity is a force. When you talk to scientists, they say there are 4 fundamental forces. Gravity is one of them. It is the law of gravitational attraction. Laws don't address causes. Right? So
gotcha.
Why is the first law of thermodynamics a law? The law doesn't address the why. Why does Snell's law work? The law doesn't address the why.
It just works, right?
Why does mass attract mass? The law doesn't address that. It's just the law. It's an observation, and you describe the observation, and it works. And if it doesn't work, then the law is disproved, and you then throw it away or start over or figure out what's wrong with it. So
the byproduct of gravity is, the byproduct is basically a force from the cause of gravity, basically. But here's where I was going to go with that. I didn't mean to go. That's not where I was really going with that, Mike. Hold on. I was going to say like if I want to just measure, I'm not denying the measurements. Like if I want to say, okay, objects fall, or let's say solids and air fall at roughly 9.8 meters per second. And I'd say due to disequilibrium. And I could put up a pretty strong argument to that. I feel like unless you could show me a perfect void, there's always going to be a medium, but nothing ever moves out of equilibrium without some type of energy. You're not going to move nothing up, down, anywhere without energy. So if I walk outside right now, everything's at balance and nothing's really moving around. The wind could come and blow shit around, or a tree could grow up slowly but surely getting energy from the sun and minerals from the soil and grow up, and then something, and then it break and fall down. But as far as everything is pretty much in balance. So I would say equilibrium is what causes it. Pretty much everything. Just equilibrium causes every force, in my opinion.
Well, F equals ma. So we're going to stick with the laws that we've identified. And if you disagree with Newton's laws of motion, then a falsification would be on you. So if you just say vague concepts, I'm going to just say you're going to need to substantiate. But here, let me show you.
I don't disagree with the numbers.
Right. I want to show you this. This is yet another one of the confirmations that mass attracts mass. Here is a diagram of the setup that they did. You can see at the top is this balance, which is not a scale. A scale is measuring. It's it's not measuring weight. It's measuring mass. So a balance is technically a scale is a balance, but so it's got like tips, and then on one side you put a bunch of mass, and the other side you put a bunch of mass, and then you add masses to one side until it equalizes. That's what's at the top there, the balance. And then there's a wire that goes down, and you see then there's an upper test mass and a lower test mass, and then there's these four kind of grayish boxes. We're looking on the left side here, and the four grayish boxes say field masses. This is 13 tons of mercury. That's what's inside these field masses, 13 tons of mercury. And the upper test mass and the lower test mass then are affected by the mass of that mercury. So the lower test mass, when the mercury is present, has a lower weight. And so when you put on the scale on the top, you put less bits of material to measure that. And the top one, the upper test mass, has a greater downward accelerating and a greater weight. Even though the test masses are the same actual mass, they have a different weight, top and bottom, because the mercury is causing them to be attracted to each other. And then they have position A. So that was position T on the left, position A on the right. You see where they moved half of the mercury up above the upper test mass and half of the mercury down below the lower test mass. And then they measure the difference in the weight of the test masses. That is the result of the mercury having been positioned in a different spot. And they definitely measure a difference.
Man, my Brian dish experiment already beat you to it in that experiment with me proving that heat melts mass. So the mercury was already melted. So my heat melts mass was already proven before that one, that mass attracts mass. Like I said, heat melts mass.
The mercury is melted in both instances. It has nothing to do with whatever the hell you're talking about. Mercury is liquid at room temperature, Brian. You know that, right?
Yeah, but a little bit of heat's all it takes. Doesn't take as much heat to melt that mass, does it?
To melt what mass?
The mass, whatever you're calling mass. It's liquid, right?
Yeah.
Got to have heat to melt it, right?
What does that have to do with anything?
I'm just saying, heat melts mass.
Okay, off topic. What about this one, though? What about the difference?
I'm not trying to be a smart ass. I'm just really, it might sound like it, but I'm really just making the point. Like we just need to we really need to substitute different variables, different materials and stuff, man. And I see what's going on there. I like, it's a good experiment, but it's incomplete.
Brian, your wish is my command. This uses mercury instead of lead or copper tellurium. All of these different variations of things that are measuring the specific magnitude of the gravitational constant uses different materials. They're all over the place in using different materials.
Yeah, but use one that doesn't.
the same
use
quantity.
one that doesn't conduct heat. So I would say use one that doesn't conduct heat so much, because the more you add, the more heat you're adding. And it doesn't take much to get movement, and maybe that's not what's causing it, but that's what Cavendish said he was going to work out in future experiments. Is he noticed that the temperature was causing motion in his setup at the end of his paper, and not saying that's exactly the cause, but
he wasn't able to control the temperature. Some of these experiments, like the one that was in a cryogenic chamber in the bottom of a was it a well? Not a well. It was a bottom of a something like an old bunker. Yeah, it was a bunker. They controlled the temperature. It was a cryogenic chamber. They used liquid helium to get it cold. And kept the temperature consistently the same in a vacuum chamber. So they're controlling these conflating variables. And when it's in a vacuum chamber, it doesn't transmit heat very well either. So again, are you proposing that a different temperature will cause a different magnitude of the gravitational pull?
Just throwing it out as a possibility, man.
But does it change whether or not mass attracts mass? No, you aren't even proposing that, so it doesn't matter.
I'll be honest, man. I never heard of the cryogenic experiment. To be honest,
so you didn't do your own research, Brian.
Apparently, you did a little more than me on that, man. It's your religion, bro. It's your religion.
It's not religion. This is empirical.
If I
measurements.
don't learn something every time I come here, I'm disappointed in you, man. So,
right. So Brian, here's the challenge to you. What is the cause of the downward acceleration?
Disequilibrium, man.
Okay, tell you what.
I'm
ready for you.
There's no downward acceleration, man.
But there is. We can measure that. It's easy to measure. It's in fact.
The acceleration is up, man. It's got to be up. Can't be down.
Here you go. Here's a guy just measuring it himself in his office. He puts this piece of paper up. He puts a pencil on top of it.
He did what? Wait. He did what?
I'm playing it. Are you watching the screen?
Yeah, no, but you just said he did. He did something. What did he do?
There you go. We just watched it. Here, slow mo. We're watching.
Explain what he did.
Frame by frame, he's counting the amount of time it takes for that pencil. Stop interrupting me. For that pencil to hit the ground, and so he's able to use the amount of time and the distance. Plug it into a kinematic equation, and then he gets the acceleration downward of that pencil.
If he'd have plugged it in properly, though, then you can't just start an experiment halfway.
It's not halfway.
If he didn't pick it up, it would have never fell. It would have stayed in equilibrium.
F equals ma. All right, harmony. F equals ma. F equals ma. That BS of if he didn't pick it up, that's not science.
Well, that's the force.
That's not F equals ma. Yes, he applied a force. He applied a force to pick it up, and then there's
too early to get worked up, bro.
And then there's a force that caused it to go down, and that force that caused it to go down has a very specific magnitude. The acceleration that things are that causes things to fall down is 9.8 meters per second squared, approximately, all over the Earth.
But that's fair. But
so your challenge, Brian, isn't just to come up with some vague collection of words that you think substitutes for the actual empirical science. Your challenge, Brian, is to come up with the specific mechanism that causes 9.8 meters per second squared downward acceleration.
All right. Well, allow me to get in a word, man. Okay. The force was the energy put in to get the thing out of balance. And that's what it could equally be measured, is whatever force it took to get that thing out of balance. Instead, we measure the force of it going back into balance. And to me, it's just as equal. If you want to call that a downward acceleration, so show me an acceleration in a car. If I take off in the car, if I take off forward and accelerate forward, my weight gets pinned to the back of the seat, man. It does. So it ain't no downward force.
It's a separate thing.
It's not it's not a downward acceleration.
Well, you still have downward acceleration.
The weight would be opposite, like in a car or any other demonstration you want to. So it's just a leap of logic to me, man, to just call it a downward acceleration and call it a force.
But it's not a leap of logic. It's empirically confirmed. So here I have right here the Newton's law of gravitation right here. See it? F equals G times M1 times M2 over R squared. See that?
Okay, who came up with Big G? Wasn't it Cavendish that measured that?
He's one of them. Yeah, and these other ones that I've shown have measured it to a much higher precision.
Wasn't Newton before Cavendish?
Newton came up with this equation, but did not have a value for G.
Okay, so they already pretty much had it. They just needed to come up with an experiment and fine tune it just right. To give them the number they needed.
It was he came up with the equation, and then Cavendish was the first of many that used this equation and quantified the value of G here.
Yeah, I'm not going to argue any of that, but look, I'm just making my point that I could equally argue that the force is lifting shit up.
Here's your chance, Brian. So when I do this, we get 9.8 meters per second squared. Right there, 9.798 meters per second squared.
Yeah,
right?
Not without putting energy into it first.
No, there's no energy in this equation here. It's G.
Oh yeah, you have to lift all that shit up.
Of course, yes. Yep, it's called potential energy. Yep, all well understood as part of the first law of thermodynamics. Now, what is the cause, Brian?
The potential energy.
The challenge to you. What is the cause of the downward acceleration that is approximately 9.8?
Let me tell you what causes, if I heat up this block, what causes the temperature to go back down?
Brian,
wait,
F equals MA.
If I blow up this balloon, what causes the pressure to go back down?
Different topic.
Everything's going back to balance, bro.
F equals MA, Brian. What is causing that to go down?
Mike, why are you getting so worked up, man? You never get like this to me, man. Right. Why are you getting so worked up, bro?
I'm pressing you to actually put meaning behind your words.
You asked a question, bro. You're Oakley-ing me, bro.
No,
why are you doing that?
I
think you are. You're funny muting me, man.
Sure. What's the empirically confirmed cause of the 9.8 meters per second squared downward acceleration? Is it electrical?
The energy? No, it's the energy put into it.
All right, and what's the formula for that law? And where was it empirically confirmed?
F equals
all
MA.
right. And the A is what I'm talking about. A is 9.8 meters per second squared. Where did that come from?
But the force is lifting it up.
Okay, but when you drop it, it accelerates at a specific acceleration. What is the cause of that? Like I said, I've done it for gravity. It's right here.
We know the cause, Mike. Lifting it up, putting energy into it. That's the cause, and that's the force.
The specific, not the magnitude of the downward acceleration. There's a very specific magnitude.
It depends on how heavy it is and how much force you had to put into it to get it up off the ground.
The magnitude.
So the more you add, the more weight. The more it's
the magnitude of the downward acceleration is the same regardless of mass.
Doesn't matter. It's going to hit the ground harder. It's going to hit with a bigger impact.
It'll have more.
So it's a true value, not just arbitrary bullshit.
It'll have more kinetic energy.
It's arbitrary bullshit, right?
But I'm asking you, what's the specific? What causes this 9.8 meters per second?
You're asking me what causes it, and I'm telling you what causes it is putting energy into it, getting it out of balance, out of equilibrium.
Okay. Yeah.
We got that. What's causing it, bro?
We've already covered the first law of thermodynamics. So there's potential energy in it, and then when it is released, it accelerates. F equals ma. The A is 9.8 meters per second squared. Where did that come from?
That come from lifting it up.
No. The 9.8. Sorry, the 9.8 meters per second squared didn't come from lifting it up.
So could we measure that if I didn't put energy into it somehow? Tell me a way we could measure that without previously putting energy in it.
Yeah, you could just put it on a spring scale and it'll tell you the.
Do what? Put it on. So I got to pick it up and put it on a spring scale, right?
Put it on a spring scale.
Show me a way without energy.
Yeah, F equals ma. You're trying to reject F equals ma. There's an acceleration. It is 9.8 meters per second squared. Where'd that come from?
No, I'm not. I told you F equals ma is fine. You're asking me the cause, and I told you picked it up. Tell me a way you can do it without picking it up.
The specific magnitude. I need the magnitude. What's the magnitude? See, I can do it. I can do this science, and no flat earthers ever once even come close.
You're asking me the magnitude and calling that the science when you can't even agree that the cause is putting energy into it to get it out of equilibrium.
There. It doesn't make any sense, Brian.
Well,
there is a specific magnitude
experiment in the middle of the process.
Yeah, there's a specific magnitude to the downward acceleration. What is the empirically confirmed mechanism causing that downward acceleration?
The mechanism is picking it up.
Okay. And the quantity, 9.8 meters per second. How do we measure that then?
Time it.
Okay. Time it. Yes. How do we measure the 9.8? Where did that come from? What's the plausible mechanism?
It came from lifting it up.
What's the plausible mechanism for the 9.8?
It comes from lifting it up off the ground. If you drop shit, it doesn't drop at the same rate, bro.
Saying lifting it up doesn't give me 9.8 meters per second squared.
Bro, I climbed on my roof. One of the first videos I did, I climbed on my roof. Listen,
Brian, it's just a vague description. It's not an actual mechanism. You have haven't even stated a testable hypothesis yet.
Yes, I have, because I've climbed up my roof with a golf
9.8
and a ping pong ball, right? And then I even got feedback. I had to shave the dimples off the freaking golf ball because people said the reason it fell faster is because it's more air resistant with the dimples. So I grinded the dimples off the golf ball, dropped them both from about 20 foot high, and the golf ball fell way faster. And I was told that it was just wind resistance, right? So if it was just wind resistance, they're the same exact size. And it should have had the same exact amount of wind resistance. And yet the golf ball fell way fast.
Do you know the formula for wind resistance?
Doesn't matter. They're the same size. Yeah. It's the size versus the pressure and shit. I don't know the exact formula. Right. I could look it up, but if you need to.
And because the masses are different, they will respond differently. That's predicted. So one should accelerate faster than the other because of wind resistance if they're the same size.
Should it really?
Yes, same size, different mass. They will accelerate differently.
Let me give you another example. Okay, so I put these helium balloons in a vacuum chamber. Okay, and I could argue that you're having to pressurize the helium before it drops because most of them pop. But if you use a real super tight water balloon that are real strong, you can
use a Mylar one.
They'll quit expanding, and just before right there at the end, it gets where the helium can't support the weight of the balloon, and after the pressure goes up in there, and it just barely trickles down. But in your model, it's supposed to be falling in a vacuum at the same rate as a lead ball, but it just barely trickles down. So you need to go back to the drawing board, man, because I can demonstrate.
Brian, use a Mylar balloon so that it doesn't expand, and do it in a good size vacuum chamber. And when you have the large portion of the air evacuated, then test it.
And it trickles down. I've already seen it. I made a video out of it.
Did you use a Mylar balloon?
Dude, I could argue this.
And how much did you evacuate?
No, I could easily argue, and you couldn't really argue this, is that I'm increasing the pressure inside of the balloon to get it to fall in the first place. But when it does fall, it barely falls. It ain't like it races down the same speed as a lead balloon.
Brian, you should have taken physics in high school. You skipped it. You should not have skipped it.
Yeah, but I didn't skip my own eyes and seeing shit. Yeah, that's just a little cheap
shot. The reason why you
I know you're good at when you're losing, you just throw a little cheap shot.
Brian, the reason why this stuff is you don't fathom it is because you didn't get that background. It's not difficult
but guess what?
For those of us that
the background don't matter. The background doesn't change the fact that helium balloon trickled down barely. I know you don't like it, but deal with it.
Pressure? What was the pressure in the tank when it trickled down?
The pressure was, I don't know. You say that it's if it's 0.1 millibars or something like that, or if it's 0.1 psi, that it's right there at zero.
So you didn't measure it. You don't even know.
In it, bro. For God's sake, man. Okay, it was like 0.01 or 0.1 psi, but according to you, that's right there at vacuum, right?
So you're going to tell me that order. Bit, you had an entire order of magnitude off.
No different. Hold on, that little bit that doesn't make no difference as far as being in space and the ISS, because it's only a tiny little bit. It's going to make this giant difference in the speed of that balloon falling.
Oh, jeez.
Your education is just what has you denying what I can demonstrate.
No, The thing is that when you take these things into account, when you get the actual pressure, when you get the resistance due to air friction, air resistance, and the size of the object, the mass of the object, you do all those things. All these things have been explored. This isn't like new stuff that I'm just coming up with. These are things that have been around for centuries, or at least decades.
Everything your education tells you, but doesn't hold up when we demonstrate it. Like
always holds up.
Effect.
Always holds up when it's properly done, and you do a crap experiment and then say, hey, it didn't work. Well, your experiment was the fault.
A crap experiment is picking something up and putting all this energy and fucking force into it, and then starting your experiment halfway and saying, okay, we're going to start the experiment now that I've done lifted the shit up and then added more mercury.
Well, tell you what, you go do that, and you calculate the potential
experiment, bro.
Brian, you calculate the potential energy that was put into the system. Can you do that?
It doesn't matter, bro.
Oh, it certainly does, because if you lift something up, you're doing work. And when I say work, I mean in a scientific sense. You're putting energy into the system. Certain amount of work is being done to lift that mass up to a certain elevation. Now you've increased its potential energy. So yeah, you've increased the potential energy.
Right,
and when it's on the table, it's not at equilibrium. There's still potential energy.
No, but it's in a rest. It's in a rest if it's on the table, and as soon as you move that table, okay, then it
will accelerate at 9.8 meters per second squared. What's the cause? Exactly. We're going back to the beginning because you just keep evading.
Speed of that ping pong? Well, what was the speed of the ping pong ball, and what was the speed of the golf ball of equal size? Because they sure couldn't have both been 9.8 meters per second per second. That's an approximation of solids in air.
Yes,
that is so vague, bro. And you say potential energy. You're learning. It's potential energy.
I'm sorry.
And then it's going to the kinetic energy is going to be when you let go. It's going to go back to equilibrium.
I learned this many years ago. This isn't
new.
It's
time to update it.
But just point out specifically what's wrong and write it up, and I'll help you publish it in Nature. I'll help you. I'll give you a hand there.
Write this up. W equals ma.
You
weight equals mass times acceleration. That's how we'll do weight. And,
weight.
Show me
weight
on Earth where that's wrong.
Weight is a force. Yep.
Yeah. So we don't need all the F. Just weight.
But
W equals ma.
Weight is a force.
Yeah. And weight is weight.
Weight is a force. You don't know that?
The force is to lift the weight up or get it out of equilibrium. It doesn't have to be up. We could hold on. We got to put a force to bring a freaking beach ball underwater. So you're going to call that? You just add extra equations for nothing, man.
Just get nothing right here.
Oh, you don't have to add more force to get a beach ball underwater, Mike?
Of course you do. F equals ma.
What are you laughing at that then for?
F equals ma, and now you have to overcome the buoyant force.
What, do I have to accelerate it to get it down there?
Yes, force is accelerating
the mass.
Okay, then I have
to accelerate something to get it up then, don't I?
It's like
you don't like the consequences, do you?
I think it's funny that you think you know what you're talking about, Brian. You don't.
No, I think it's funny, bro, that I could show you something or describe something and you just, all your years of education just have you blind to a simple fact that a helium balloon in a vacuum chamber will never fall at the same speed as a lead ball.
Well,
ever.
Show that then.
Dude, look, I'll post it in another video. Everybody apparently but you has seen it. Okay, because most of the balloons pop. And the one that doesn't pop, it trickles down.
Do a Mylar balloon, right? Because it won't.
So you're telling me that a little bit of air left in that vacuum chamber is enough to get it trickling down to start racing down at 9.8 meters per second, bro?
Brian, I'll explain it. There are multiple forces that act on an object simultaneously. The downward acceleration is about 9.8 meters per second squared down. The buoyant force is up, and it's dependent on the density of the medium it's in and the displacement of the object. Then you've got wind resistance, which is based on the cross-sectional area of the item. You need to do all of these, the math for these. Or
just do it in a vacuum and take away the buoyancy and the wind resistance, right, Michael?
Absolutely, and you need to have a very good vacuum chamber for that. And I don't know the quality of yours, but you definitely, tell you what, if you have an actual accurate gauge so you know the actual pressure in it, you send me the stuff. Don't show me the video. Send me the stuff. I'll do the math and I'll send it to you.
So why didn't the balloon drop right off the bat when the air? Why did it just sit there at the top, and then just trickle down at the very end? Why didn't it gradiate down? Why didn't it gradiate down if your particles are being evacuated? The buoyancy should have went down slowly but surely, right? Shouldn't the buoyancy have gradiated according to your math?
Yes, it did. It went down slowly because you didn't remove the air all at once.
Right, but that's not what happened. It stayed up, and then boom, trickled down. Okay?
Exactly. That's exactly what we predict. Your inability to understand how that works doesn't make it a problem for the globe.
No, yes, it does, because when the PSI was cut in half, it didn't go halfway down.
It should not. Okay? You're right. It should not do that. It does not predict that because
so with half the particles in there.
I'll explain it to you, Brian, if you listen.
Yeah, go ahead.
Because multiple forces connect simultaneously, you need to have the buoyant force be less than, right? It needs to cross a threshold. It's not the buoyant force has been cut in half, therefore it will half float. No, since the buoyant force is still greater than the downward force, it will continue to go up.
So it should go down to almost zero? Are you telling me it should stay up until it gets down to almost zero?
It depends on how much buoyancy is there. And that's why I need
air left in there, bro. There's hardly no
exactly, and that's why it won't happen until it gets right to that threshold. So like I said, if you can get your gauge on your vacuum chamber so that you know exactly where it is at any particular time, and you know the cross-sectional area of it,
guess what?
The air resistance in this won't be a big
I
part
can
of
show
it.
you plenty of experiments where if I take and you could just heat water up and make it less buoyant. You can heat air up and make it more buoyant. Okay. There's things you could do, but nothing's ever going to happen instantly, man. Is as the
exactly my point. Yes.
As the equilibrium occurs, like as if I heat something up and in a balloon, as I get it hot, it's going to get lighter and lighter, and it's going to start coming up, and then I heat it up, it's going to go up higher, work its way up. Nothing's ever going to happen all instantaneous. That's not what your math predicts, man. So it should have been where it's just no air in there hardly at all for it to down.
And you did the math for this then.
It doesn't matter, man.
It absolutely
look at the equation
matters,
for buoyancy, bro. Pull up the equation for buoyancy. It doesn't say that it happens or it doesn't. Does buoyancy say it happens or it doesn't?
Buoyancy, it says it happens when it crosses the threshold.
Right. And it's a gradient, right? So there's different amounts of buoyancy according to the density and according to the volume, correct?
Yeah.
Okay. So it's going to gradiate. In other words, something's going to get more and more buoyant depending on its surroundings.
When the buoyant force is more than the buoyant acceleration is more than 9.8 meters per second squared up, then the entire time that it is greater than 9.8 meters per second squared, it will stay at the top of the chamber. And once it gets at 9.8 meters per second squared, then it will begin to go down. But until then, it will stay at the top. You didn't even let me finish.
No, I got you. I think we all understood what you said, but I'm going to say this. So if a boat's floating on water, okay, and we start adding in some thinner to it, just a quick description. We start adding in and mixing some less dense liquid, like just say alcohol or whatever, oil, and
in the water.
And then let's just for example, just follow me for a minute, okay? And then all of a sudden the boat starts sinking down, right? It starts sinking down, and then we start taking weight off of it, like the weight of the balloon itself. We start taking weight and it's going to float back up. But as the medium that it's sitting in gets thinner, it's going to start going down. So that when the air,
and that's in the buoyancy,
air getting thinner,
and that's in the buoyancy equation.
That's my point. So the air getting thinner in the vacuum, the balloon should have gradiated down.
No,
instead, it was an instantaneous.
The boat is partially in the water, not fully in the water. The balloon is fully in the vacuum chamber, not partially in the vacuum chamber.
So I could have used an egg or something, okay? And you understand what I'm saying, is that
Can you say,
it ain't like an
can you
instantaneous thing.
say
It depends on the medium.
this is an egg?
No, I'm saying it depends on the medium, is what I'm telling you. You can get the medium less and less dense, and the egg will move its way down like a density column. Like if you drop a cherry or an apple, whatever, in a density tower, it's going to go to its position. If you change it, it's in other words, there are different levels of buoyancy, and you
Yes.
just you put it where it's either buoyant or it's not.
All of this is well predicted by 9.8 meters per second squared, whatever's the cause of it. But it's well predicted by that.
Yeah,
the problem is that you still don't know.
Same as a lead ball.
You still don't know the 9.8.
The problem is, here's the problem. The problem is you're ignoring the fact that the acceleration was lifting the thing up. Like you just said, it was an acceleration getting the beach down in the water, and you laughed.
That's putting work into it.
I accelerated the mercury.
Putting work into it.
Right. So that's the acceleration. That's the force. That is the force. It's just going back to equilibrium.
Put potential energy. Yes, but you still didn't explain the magnitude of the 9.8. All you did was.
I don't have to explain it.
You absolutely must.
No,
F equals ma.
Where's
the specific quantity of A?
If I say that I heat up a temperature of this block right here, and what makes it cool back down? You could give me reasons, but ultimately,
convection, radiation.
It's going back to equilibrium, right? To its surrounding.
Again, all of these things are well explained and well understood, and we have mechanisms to predict the rate at which things will cool down. All of that is all
right, but you add an extra element to it, though, don't you? You add an extra element to falling down to the center of a ball. That's why you have to have this specific thing we're calling gravity, because you need it pulling to the center of a ball. All we're measuring is things going down, bro.
All right, Pilo has a good thing here. He says he doesn't understand that the boat is right at equilibrium, but the balloon is being artificially held down by the ceiling of the chamber. Very true.
Yeah, that's a pretty good point. But still, the concept there.
I think Tacori thinks that he wants to come in late now.
Hey, yeah, Mike, I was in traffic. Anyway. Mike, I do got to go, man. I was about to tell you anyway, bro. I wanted to go. Right. I just wanted to smooth things over before I left. I didn't want to leave when we're all passionate and shit, bro. But I do got to go.
All right, Brian.
All right. Love you, bro.
Coming. All right. He loves me, people. Tacori?
Yeah, you hear me?
I do.
Yeah, I was late. It was like the train that broke down and stuff like that.
All right. Are you ready? Are you going to be on screen?
I guess so. I guess. Yeah, I'll be on screen.
We're an
what you mean like
an hour and a half late? I mean, did you not have a phone or something?
Did I have my phone? I left my phone at the house. I had left it on the house. At the house on the charger.
All right.
I was moving too fast and stuff, and I realized I had left my phone while I was all the way on the freeway.
All right. Well, if you're ready, I mean, Brian just kind of waffled a bit about gravity. Maybe you can do better. Tag team in.
Well, he probably beat you in the gravity concept, but your ego probably didn't see it.
Oh, sure. Okay. All right. Well, whenever you're ready,
I'm ready.
I'll put you on screen when you're ready.
I'm ready.
All right. Are you going on screen or not? I mean, I just.
Oh, my face on screen.
Yes.
Oh.
I mean, I don't know. Maybe you're hideously disfigured, and I mean, clearly I am, but yet I still go on screen.
Hold on. Let me try to get on screen.
All right.
I'm trying to get on it real quick.
All right. Well, your icon doesn't.
Is it on screen now?
No. Are you on a phone or on a computer?
I'm on a computer.
Okay. Well, it looks like you haven't given it permission, maybe.
I'm trying to give it permission.
Okay. Well,
I don't know what's going on and stuff like that.
well, how about you struggle with that a little bit? I got a couple things that from the audience. Let's see, Teresa B about the Chinese see a full moon and New Zealand see a partial moon. Yep. Didn't know what to do with that. Obi-Wan says, it's so funny they invent so many delusions to not understand gravity or to make it be something else when it could simply just be gravity. Exactly. Let's see. Oh, I missed one. I gotta roll back to this one here.
Yeah, it's not letting me. It's not letting me.
Are you in a web browser?
I'm in a web browser. Yeah, I'm in a Zoom app.
Or you're in the Zoom app?
Yeah. It automatically took me to the Zoom app.
And do you have a camera installed in your computer?
Yeah, I have a camera, but it's like tripping right now. It'll eventually pop up later on, though. It should eventually pop up later on.
Eventually later on. Okay. Hey, John Seffill is what was wanting Brian to explain southern circumpolar stars. Can you explain that? Maybe we can get back to that after you've done whatever you're going to do to gravity.
Well, I can't do nothing to something that don't exist. I ain't trying to give gravity a different name or nothing like that. I'm telling you, it doesn't exist. It never. It's made up. It's a figment of your imagination. You can't prove gravity with the scientific method. We know when we're dealing with the concept of science, we're talking about things that you can actually prove. Now, you can come with your little so-called advanced mathematical equations if you want to, but if you can't prove this concept in reality, then your mathematical concepts gonna go down in the drain. See, me, I'm a smart thinker. I'm not a hard thinker. I don't think hard, I think smart. So why spend all this time trying to debunk the globe and all of the other concepts about the globe? Well, I could just attack you from the heart, which is gravity. If I could destroy gravity, your whole heliocentric model go down in the toilet.
All right. Well, then why do things fall at 9.8 meters? At 9.8 meters per second squared.
First of all,
what is it? What is the plausible mechanism?
Let me tell you. I'm gonna tell you. First of all, you yourself have not even got that meter down. You can't tell me a feather moves at 9.8 meters per second when it hit the ground. So we're not gonna talk about that. But here's the thing. This is what we're gonna say how things fall, and this is what I know for a fact. Despite the fact that heavy things fall faster than light things, is due to the fact of weight and resistance of its medium that is in.
Okay. So you say. So what's the cause of the 9.8 meters per second squared downward acceleration?
Well, sir, the downward acceleration for 9.8 meters per second, that's not really proven. You know what I'm saying? Unless you take a meter and measure the speed of the object falling, because if a ball falls faster than a feather, the feather ain't moving at 9.8 miles per second or meters per second. 9.8 meters per second, because they both will have to hit the ground at the same time for them to both move at 9.8 meters per second.
Okay.
That's it.
Are you aware that there's other ways to measure the magnitude of downward acceleration?
The magnitude, can you measure the magnitude right now in front of everybody?
Yeah.
And let's see if you can actually, I tell you what, get something out of your room right there and drop it and see if it's gonna move at 9.8 meters per second magnitude in acceleration.
Yeah, you can actually do that with just a spring scale or a piezoelectric scale.
What?
A piezoelectric scale?
Not anything in your room. Not any little average stuff in your room.
Well, many people have bathroom scales. They're spring scales. They measure the downward acceleration.
No, I'm talking about, like, can you take something like real light and something that's real heavy and drop it at the same time and see if they both can move?
Yeah, well, I mean, you need to control, to do science right, you need to control for confounding variables, right? So you would need to control for wind resistance.
Wind resistance, well,
Yeah.
Do your
do you
room
know,
has any wind
Corey,
resistance?
do you know how to predict wind resistance, the magnitude of the force of wind resistance?
The magnitude of the like what you, it depends what you mean by that.
I mean, that's a pretty well understood part of physics, is how to do.
Well,
You know,
honestly,
it's
to tell you the truth,
right. It's the cross sectional area, right? You know, the viscosity, right? You know what I'm talking about?
well, look, here's the thing. What we flat earthers do is we deal with things on a simplicity level.
No
So
kidding.
we hold on, listen. Nah, because here's the thing. If you can't deal with something on a simplistic level, then that means that your science is all.
Is that right? All right. Well, then, in a simplistic level, please explain to me how flash memory works.
Bro, we're not talking about flash memory. We're talking about gravity.
But you were trying to inform me how science works, and if you can't explain it at a simplistic level, then apparently you think it's not science. So explain to me at a simplistic level how solid state memory works, and enough that somebody else could redo it.
What that got to do with gravity?
It has nothing to do with gravity. It has to do with your claims about how science works.
Hold on. So you mean to tell me science can be figured out with simple concepts?
Go ahead. Explain how a
I'm
solid
asking
state
you,
drive
can
works.
can science be explained on a simplistic level?
In a simple way, but not in enough of a way to actually be well controlled and understand it and make good predictions.
So, but you still can explain it in a simple level, right?
Yeah, to a kindergartner, I can. But a kindergartner isn't going to make a solid state drive based on that explanation.
Here's the thing with you globe earthers. You globe earthers, y'all the type that try to use high levels of mathematic measurements in your house just to go to your restroom.
No, I've never done that, but an interesting claim there. So
when all you could do is just go to your restroom, see that your restroom is across
like I said,
from your room.
I don't actually do that. But if I'm going to do a science experiment, I'm going to control for confounding variables.
Well, here's the thing about that.
It might get complicated.
Okay, yeah, there's some sciences that might get complicated, but we're talking about gravity. Like, is gravity easy to prove?
Yes, it is easy to show that mass attracts mass in a basic mass, true-false way. Yes, that is easy to show. Yeah.
Okay, so it's easy to show that mass there's a force out there that needs greater force to be more attractive. Greater mass to be more attractive.
Greater mass to be more attractive.
Yes.
I can tell you that if there's a greater mass next to me, I am more attractive.
No, here's the thing. What I'm talking about, this is the reason why, this is because y'all would say the reason that everything falls is because of gravity, which is a pull force, right? So if gravity is a pull force, then that means that an elephant can, hold on.
It's an attractive force.
So, okay, it's an attractive force. That's pretty much the same as a pull force because it's bringing things to you. So here's the thing. If an elephant falls and a leaf falls, the elephant is going to fall faster than the leaf. Now, the elephant has significantly more mass than the leaf has more mass, right? So if that's the case, then what type of force out there can pull, besides gravity, what type of force out there that can pull heavier objects to faster and easier than it can pull light objects? Because I can pull, listen, hold on, wait, listen.
I'll explain it, yeah.
Okay, hold on, because let me say this last thing. Because here's the thing. I can pull a box of feathers way easier than I can pull a big ass box of tools. Now, is that facts that you could pull a box of feathers faster and easier than you could pull a box of tools?
Well, it depends on the mass. If they're the same mass, it's the same challenge. Yeah.
So is the box of tools the same mass as the box of feathers?
Well, if they were the same mass and everything else is the same, then it'd be just as challenging. So
is it the same? Is a heavy box of tools the same mass as a box of feathers, a small box of feathers?
I don't know. I mean,
you don't know.
Your example doesn't include the masses of the objects. So so let's solve this. What's the mass of the box of tools?
Okay, let's see. Let's say for instance, the mass of the box, you convert mass into, let's say you convert mass into weight. 1 kilogram would equals 0.454 pounds, right?
How much? I'll write that down.
1 kilogram equals 0.454 pounds.
1
so therefore,
kilogram equals
so
what?
Therefore, 0.454 pounds.
Okay.
Okay, so let's say, for instance, a box of weight, there's a heavy old box of weight that's like 200 pounds.
I just want to make sure I have the right relationship for you there. 1 kilogram equals 0.454 pounds. That's what you're saying?
Yeah. You measure mass with kilograms and you measure weight with pounds.
All right. This is a new number for me. I thought it was a totally different number. I know. I have looked it up. I know that the correct number, but we'll go with yours for now. But let's go ahead. Keep going.
Well, I had looked it up on Google and I found that it was 0.454 kilograms and stuff. I mean, not kilograms, weight. I mean, pounds. So here's the thing. Let's say a box of tools has a mass of 20 kilograms, right?
Okay. Box of tools
has a mass of 20 kilograms.
Okay. And how much is the box of feathers?
The box of feathers is pretty much like, probably like at least 1 kilogram.
Pretty much light. Can I get like a more 1 specific?
Kilogram. Okay, let's put it like this. Let's put it like this. Okay. 2.5 pounds. Let's give you a prime example. 2.5 pounds.
Well, are you switching units on me in the middle of the track here? Let's stick with kilograms. The box of tools is 20 kilograms, and the box of feathers is 1 kilogram.
You just asked me to be more specific, so I'm giving you a more specific number.
Okay. All right.
So a more specific number of the box of feathers in weight would be like, let's say 2 pounds. So let's say 2 pounds.
All right. So not 1 kilogram, got 2 pounds. Okay.
No, yeah, 2 pounds. Okay.
Yeah. And all right. So pounds. We have, so the tools is 20 kilograms and the feathers is 2 pounds.
Yeah.
Okay. So why are we in different units here?
Because they still talk. Oh, you want me to convert that 2 pounds into kilograms?
Well, I mean, it'd be nice if the units were the same. I'm happy to convert them myself. And if you want, we could do it all in sheep units.
Okay, so 2 kilograms is pretty much like, I mean, not 2 kilograms, 2 pounds. Let's say, 2 pounds is pretty much like 1 point something kilograms or something like that. 1 point something kilograms. I don't got the exact weight. I mean, the exact mass number, but like 1 point something kilograms. I
would suggest probably 2 pounds is less than 1 kilogram. Maybe 0.9.
Well, no, I'm just giving you a prime example.
Okay, all right. Well,
I'm just giving you a prime. I know that's not it.
Let's just say it's 1 kilogram. How about that? Make it easy.
Look, okay, let's make it easy. 1 kilogram.
All right,
so you telling me that I can pull a box of feathers that's 1 kilogram harder than I can. It takes me more time. Now, I ain't gonna even say more time. It takes me more effort to pull a 1 pound box of 1 pound box of feathers more than it can pull a 20 pound box of weights.
Yeah,
more than I could.
I could. You want to run through the how we do that?
Oh, so wait a minute. So let's get this straight. Let's make sure. So you telling me you could pull a 20 pound box of weights easier than you could pull a 2 pound box of feathers?
No, but you got that backwards.
Oh, no, I ain't got it backwards. You can't tell me that there's a force out there that can pull the darn 2 pound box of feathers faster, effortlessly, less effortlessly than a 20 pound box of weights.
All right, are they on a sled or are they on a wagon?
You yourself. We can even say a wagon.
Yeah, all right.
But we talking about us ourselves
let's put them on a sled, and then we're gonna pull it with a string across the ground. How about that?
A sled across the ground.
Yeah. Should we do that?
So you telling me that the heavier object is gonna be pulled faster than and more sufficient than a lighter object on the sled?
No, I'm telling you it's gonna go slower. when we're pulling it across the ground. And I'll tell
Oh,
you,
so the
I'll
hold
go
on.
over.
Oh,
I'll
so
go
the
over.
mass. Oh, so the mass gonna be the what? The sled with the most mass is gonna be pulling more slowly.
Yeah, I'll go over that with you. You ready?
Okay, well that
All right.
debunks gravity.
Hold,
That-
no. I'll
Yes.
show you. I'll show because these are things you're dragging it across the ground, right?
You can say no pulling. We talking about a pull force.
Yeah, it's on the ground on a sled, and you're pulling it or dragging it across the ground, right? That's what you mean. You're moving it horizontally.
pretty much.
Pretty much. Okay. So now what you do is you need to get the downward the force, which is in newtons, not kilograms, for these things. So we need this equation. You know what
So
equation?
you hold on.
What equation?
Wait a minute.
What equation are we going to use here?
We ain't gonna use no equations.
Of course we are. We're going to use
sense.
F equals ma.
We're gonna use common sense.
No, we're going to use
We're
F
gonna
equals
use-
ma.
No,
sorry.
listen,
This is
listen.
science. This isn't.
No,
You don't
science is
understand
using
science.
critical thinking.
Yeah, exactly. Okay, so F
Okay, so
equals
why
ma.
you need that much math to use critical thinking?
So all right. So F equals ma is the second law of motion, right? You know that, right?
Yes.
Yes.
F equals mass times acceleration.
That's
Yes.
right. Now we know the mass. The mass is 20 kilograms, and the acceleration on the surface of the Earth is 9.8 meters per second squared. So we'll
That's
just
not
write that down.
proven, but okay. That's
Well,
not proven, but
It's easily measured.
nah, it's not proven, bro. So you telling me you can measure a whole force of gravity that you can't feel, that you can't touch, that you can't see, that
I
don't have
feel
nothing
it
to do
right
with
now.
your sense?
It's pressing down on me right now in the chair.
Well, I don't feel it. I don't feel it.
Are you? Do you have that thing, that feeling in your stomach like you're floating? You just kind of wee. That'd be fun.
Nah, I don't feel like somebody is pinning me down in full mount on the ground.
All right, so here we go. Here we have F equals ma, right? We've got our mass, 20 kilograms, and our acceleration, 9.8 meters per second squared. Right? Now, I wouldn't expect you to.
So you don't know how to
pump that
break
through.
the mat down? You don't know how to break the mat down?
I'm doing it right now for you. Just a second. We have 20.
It's like 20 times 9.8. That would give you 18.
Yes,
that would
exactly.
give you
And what's the number?
19.6.
196. And that's in newtons. 196 newtons.
Yeah, 196 newtons.
Right, and then.
Oh, I thought you had put the decimal somewhere else. I didn't see the paper correctly.
And then we got the same thing with the feathers, and we're not at 196. We're at 9.8 newtons.
Yeah, 9.8.
Right there.
Okay,
All right, so we've got one thing pressing downward at 196, one thing pressing downward at 9.8. Now we're going to drag it, so we need to know the coefficient of friction for the sled.
Well, hold on, wait a minute.
What's the coefficient of friction for
the
sled?
Listen, bro, listen. These are y'all concepts that y'all need to prove.
Yeah, it's been done.
Of course. No. Oh, so you telling me, because all I've been asking you, I've been asking you already for like 10 minutes. Is there a force out there that can witness gravity, that can pull heavier objects more efficient than it can pull lighter objects?
It accelerates them the same, but because
it's a yes or no. It's a yes or no.
I'm explaining it to you here. I'm trying to simple it down. I'm trying to, aim for right around where you're at. So because the acceleration is the same, but the mass is different, the force is different because it's F equals ma. Mass times acceleration. We see that right there. The more massive object has a stronger force. The less massive object has a less force. But the actual acceleration is identical. They're both going down, accelerated down at 9.8 meters per second squared.
Let me get this straight. You don't have it, don't you? You don't have a witnessing force of nature that can witness the concept of gravity being able to pull heavier objects more sufficient than lighter objects.
Yeah, right there.
That's not the force.
196 is the force.
No, that's a mathematical equation. In order for you to have this mathematical equation, we must be able to prove in nature a force like gravity before you can do some mathematical equations. And my boy, you don't have that because all the forces that we deal with, The heavier object is, or the more object is with more mass, the more it's gonna take for us to be able to apply more force to that object, which needing the forces that's in us and that's in this reality. It is not needing more mass to be more attractive if it's a pull force. I can pull a box of leaves easier than I could pull a box of weight.
Yeah, exactly. And predicted by
F
equals ma.
debunks gravity.
All this no, actually it doesn't.
Gravity.
It completely supports it, but I
No,
think you're
it
missing.
doesn't.
We already did the math here. 196 newtons.
Bro, I don't
versus
care about the math.
9.8 newtons. Then
You forgot
like
the
I
critical thinking.
now we need the coefficient of friction for the sled. What's the coefficient of friction for the sled?
Dude, listen. All I asked you was is there witness? You ain't even got to use a force. Let's say any witnesses in nature. Let's take the math problem out real quick. You can put the math problem back in nature, in reality. When have you ever dealt with a force that can pull heavier objects with heavier masses easier and more sufficient than you can pull objects with lighter masses? Let's put the math equation away first, and we could deal with the math after that.
Oh my gosh. Your level of understanding isn't even kindergarten, man.
See, here's the thing. Well, if that's the case, Isaac Newton's level of understanding is kindergarten. It's level. Do you even know how he got the origins of gravity? Do you even know how he
Yes,
figured that?
He derived it from Kepler's laws of planetary motion.
No, he didn't. He saw an apple fall to the floor.
No, he did.
Yes, he did.
It's a myth. It's a myth.
Yes, he did.
He derived it from Kepler's laws of planetary motion. That's where he actually got it from.
So he's not the one that discovered gravity. He's not the one that...
I said he derived it from Kepler's
laws. So he didn't
laws.
discover gravity.
I'm sorry, I wasn't done. He derived it from Kepler's laws of planetary motion. He's the first one to come up with the equation that we call the law of gravitational attraction.
Okay, so can you show me like hardcore evidence of where he was able to get the equation? What made him get the equations? What concepts of nature? Hold on, wait a minute.
I can show you the derivation, but I have a feeling that you won't understand the derivation.
What concepts? Man, now you made me lose my train of thinking, man. You talking over me and you made me lose my train of thinking.
All right, okay. Keep going with the train.
Man, it's too late. I already lost the train of thinking, man, because you was talking over me, man.
You know what you need? You need some tab. That'll help.
Nah, man, I just need you to let me do my thing so I can be able to get everything I need out. Okay, so now here's the thing. Since it's obviously factual that you cannot prove that there's a force in nature that actually...
That's your claim.
No, until you show me, and so far you didn't, you cannot tell me that this force exists. And number two,
I'll show you. I'll gladly show you.
And not only just that, you can't prove. Okay, so what force? What is the name of the force that's like gravity? Since gravity is a force, what's the name of the force?
What's the name of the force in Newtonian physics?
What is the force?
In Newtonian physics, we call it gravity.
Oh my God, bro! See, you asked me for this debate, bro. I'm talking about besides gravity. Besides gravity. What other force besides gravity that can witness a force like gravity? And by the way, this force must be a real strong,
That's on you. That's on you, not me. You're the one
care about gravity.
Yeah, I know. So you're the one that needs to come up with the explanation for it, not me.
No, hold on. So I got to come up with an explanation of something I don't believe?
No, you need to come up with an explanation for the force that is not mass attracting mass, if you think that mass does not attract mass. So go ahead, I guess.
What force? You asked me like what force is holding us down if it's not gravity?
Yeah. What is
there ain't no force holding us down.
So then why do we not float up?
I just told you if you was paying attention. What did I tell you at first?
Well, there's a lot of words that came out. So maybe
okay, what was the
again.
key word that I said? So you wasn't paying attention.
You got me laughing a little too much here, Tacori.
See, you asked me for a debate. You begged me for a debate.
Yeah. So
and you didn't.
This is
okay. Listen,
this has been a lot of fun so far.
I'm gonna say it again. Now stop laughing so you can hear. Come on, man, you making me laugh. All right, here's the thing. Listen, the reason that things fall is due to the fact of weight and air resistance or medium resistance, like the resistance around the medium that is in due to the weight. The more weight something have, the more resistance that it will have when it falls. So this is why a leaf that is barely lighter than air and barely have more resistance than the air, it falls slowly to the ground. But when it hit the ocean, it doesn't fall, because not only do water have 8 times more density than the air, it also has way more resistance than the air. So which why the leaf don't fall to the ground. This is just very, very simple. Like check this out. Picture a truck, a big old 18-wheeler truck in front of 2 cars, right? That's blocking the way. So the truck is gonna hit the cars and break through them because of its resistance due to its weight. The more weight something has to it, including if it's the acceleration, if you want to call it that, and it accelerates and then it hits the cars due to acceleration and its weight, and it breaks through the cars. So now if a car do the same thing with 2 18-wheelers blocking the streets, it's not gonna do that, because it has you can't even draw. So anyways, you can't even put the wheels straight. So anyways, here's the thing. So the car is gonna it's not gonna break through the 18-wheelers because it don't have enough weight, and because it don't have enough weight, the resistance. So this is why an air balloon, because the helium is a substance that is lighter than air. So due to the fact that it's a substance that's lighter than air, it don't have no resistance against the air. So it floats up, and an anchor falls because it's heavier, way heavier than the air. This is just simple. If gravity is a real force, it's supposed to pull the balloon down too, but it doesn't.
It does though.
If I can pull that anchor down,
aware?
What make you think I can't pull a balloon down?
Are you aware that this might blow your mind? Are you aware that multiple forces can act simultaneously on one object?
Oh, so wait a minute. So now it's not just gravity that's holding us down now.
There's multiple forces that act.
Okay, like
I
what?
know
like,
this is like, right?
Okay, like
multiple
what?
Forces
like
simultaneously what? On an object.
Like what?
Buoyancy is a force.
Buoyancy is
Did you know that? Did you know that
buoyancy
is a force?
I just explained to you about buoyancy.
Okay.
I just explained to you about buoyancy.
What causes buoyancy?
Oh, okay, so hold on, wait a minute. Buoyancy is what holds us down to the ground?
No, buoyancy is actually the opposite direction.
It causes an object to float up due to the fact that it's lighter than the surrounding medium that it's in, right?
It's an upward force. Yeah.
It's not a force. It's the fact.
Buoyancy is a force. Absolutely, it is.
No,
yeah.
I'm talking about like.
You didn't know that buoyancy was a force?
No, listen. I'm not saying.
It's okay. It's fine if you didn't know that.
Listen,
I'm happy to teach you.
It's a force, but we're talking about gravity. We're talking about what holds us down to the ground.
Yeah, gravity.
So you talk about there's multiple forces out there. We talking about what holds us down to the ground.
Yes.
We're not talking.
Gravity pull is a force down. Buoyancy is a force up, and wind resistance, when something's in motion, is a force up as well.
So wind resistance is a force that forces up.
When something's falling. When our truck is driving, wind resistance is in the opposite direction as the truck is going.
But hold on, wait a minute. The gravity, like if gravity is holding that big ass 18-wheeler down that you just drew, what make you think it can't? What make you What make you think you can't? What make you think you can't pull down an air balloon? Because if I can hold down the big old 18-wheeler, I'm pretty sure I can hold down an air balloon.
Yeah, but the buoyant force on the air balloon is greater than the downward force due to gravity. And again,
hold on. Wait a minute.
Because hold on. No, I'm not done explaining it. Because as we already went through, if something has a smaller mass, it has a smaller force applied to it. 18-wheeler, large mass, large force. Balloon, small mass, small force. And when the force of gravity on the balloon is less than the force of buoyancy, then it will go up. And once they equalize, then it'll start to come down.
Here's the thing that debunks gravity.
No,
That
actually,
debunks-
it's predicted
No,
by
no,
gravity.
listen, just
Did you
listen,
know that the
listen.
wheels on the bus go round and round? So do the
listen.
wheels on the truck.
Do you know that the truck is heavier than a balloon? So
Yes,
gravity was
yeah.
supposed to pull the balloon down. So wait a minute, let me get something straight. You telling me that the buoyant force is greater than the gravitational force, right?
For the
That
balloon.
causes the
For the balloon,
balloon
yes,
to float
yeah.
up.
Because,
Oh, so the hold on.
because
so hold
it
on.
displaces air, and the quantity of air that it displaces and the mass of the air that it displaced is directly proportional to the upward
So
force
you
that it
pretty much
applies.
just agree with what I said.
No,
I'm saying,
I
listen.
agreed. I agreed with decades and centuries of empirical measurements, and you
Li-
are the one that's disagreeing with that.
Listen, I'm using nature. I'm using things that I can deal
Now,
with in my
when
actual.
you
Hold on,
when
wait a
you
minute.
were in high school, did you finish high school?
Yes, I finished high
Okay.
school.
Did you not take physics when you were in high school?
Yes, I took physics in high school.
You did. Okay. So all of these things
I took it in the 11th grade.
Okay, and then what did you take in 12th grade
What I took in the 12th grade.
for science?
Shoot, I gotta look at my transcripts and stuff like that. But I know I took physics in the 11th grade. I took biology in the 9th grade and stuff like that. I took biology in the 9th grade.
And when did you take chemistry?
I took chemistry in the 10th grade.
Okay.
I took physics in the
11th grade?
I took physics in the 11th grade, and in the 12th grade. I don't remember what I took in the 12th grade and stuff like that. But
Here, let me show you.
I was skipping and stuff like that, and
Here, let me show you something here. These are the actual notes and cheat sheets. Not all of them. I lost a few of them that I took when I was in high school for in physics class. Let's see here. Oh yes.
You took. So wait a minute. You took all of those notes since high school.
No, this was during high school.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
You had
So-
all those notes doing since high school, but
Yeah.
yet you still
It's
haven't
in my
showed me
calculator.
you still haven't showed me no concept in nature that proves what I was saying about gravity, and that the fact that gravity being this real strong and real weak force.
Yeah,
Can
I
you
mean,
tell me
already-
how to-
we already covered it right here.
So that math right
Right there.
there proves that there's a strong weak force out there is real strong and real weak.
Well,
at the same time.
don't be confused by the weak force. That's a different fundamental force.
So is it a strong and a weak force at the same time, or is it a strong and a weak
Gravity
force
is the
differently?
weakest of the four fundamental forces.
I didn't ask you all that. I asked, was it a strong and a weak force?
Ironically, the weak force is stronger than gravity.
So hold on. So the weak force is stronger than gravity. So
Yeah.
how you gonna sit here? So if the weak force, if gravity is weaker than the weak force, then how you gonna sit here and tell us that it is strong enough to hold all of the waters of the earth? Hold on, wait a
That's
minute.
because the weak
Hold
force
on,
only acts at a subatomic level.
bro. You gotta let me speak, bro. You interrupted me. You can't tell me that a force that's real weaker than a weak force can hold all the waters. Do you know how much water is in the earth? 321 trillion billion gallons of water.
Something like
Spinning
that.
at
Yeah.
1,000 miles an hour while moving at 67,000 miles an hour while being kidnapped by the sun and warped throughout space at 483 miles an hour. You telling me a weak force that's
You
weaker
are
than a
Good
weak force?
Yeah, I'll tell you why. It's simple. Ready? The weak force only acts at a subatomic level.
So it's not really a weak force, it's just weak on the subatomic level.
Yeah, the weak force is
So
I mean, it's kind of merged with the electromagnetic force.
so it's merged with the strong force also, right?
No, not at the
Oh, so gravity
maybe
is not
maybe in the first couple seconds.
gravity is
or,
not a strong force, right?
Not seconds, much less than seconds, but gravity is the weakest of the four fundamental forces. But like we said, because it's proportional to mass.
Okay, so what's the strongest force in the universe?
The strongest force is probably the strong force.
The strong force.
That's
So
what holds quarks together to form a
so
proton or
wouldn't
neutron.
it be a strong force that would be holding all the heavy objects down to the
No,
earth to keep it from being chunked into
the
space while
universe,
spinning
the
at
universe
1,000 miles an hour.
gets to do whatever it chose to do,
Man, Steve,
and not
ain't
what
got
you
no-
want it to do.
Nah, it's not what I wanted to do.
All right,
Because listen,
so here's what you're missing. And I'm going to explain it again. Here's what you're missing. The force is directly proportional to the mass because F equals ma, mass times acceleration. The acceleration is consistent, 9.8, 9.8. Different mass, different force.
so that was
That's
your
the
best
key.
answer. Gravity can do. I mean, the universe can do what it want to do. Well, you know what the universe do? You know what the universe do? The universe tells you like this: if there's a force out there that's heavy, I mean, that can hold all the waters to the earth to a ball, that means it's a strong force. But at the same time,
but
if
the
there's a
mass
force-
of the water
hold
is
on,
high, therefore the force is high.
Hold on, and see that don't make no sense because
To you, I believe that it doesn't.
no, listen, because if the mass of the force is higher, so the more attractive the gravitational pull is, or the stronger gravity is, then what the heck make you think you can't ball up a cup of water in a darn cup if it can ball up all the waters of the earth? Look,
In a
check this
darn
out. Hold on.
cup.
Check
What's
this out.
What's a darn cup?
I didn't want to cuss and stuff, but here's the thing.
What's a
If I can, wait.
darn?
if I can ball up a big ass quilt, if I can ball up a big ass heavy ass quilt, what the hell make you think I can't ball up a darn small napkin? But according to gravity, it can ball up the big old quilt, but it can't ball up the small napkin.
A quilt?
A quilt, a big old heavy cover.
Like a blanket?
Yes, a big old heavy cover.
What's causing? Why is this darn quilt balling up?
I'm saying if I can ball it up, if I can ball up a quilt
So you're
into
getting
a ball,
quilt,
just like
and you're
balling
balling
it
it up. You're like, this darn
Balling
quilt. I'm gonna ball up this darn quilt.
yeah, and ball it up.
Okay.
So if I can ball up that heavy ass quilt, you don't think I can ball up a piece of paper?
Okay.
So
I
can
don't
I
know how
ball up
this
the piece of
applies.
paper? No, listen. No, because if the earth is, I mean, if gravity is balling up all the waters of the earth to a ball, then it should be able to ball up a pound of water. That pound of water is light as hell.
The pound of water is 8 pounds.
I
Wait,
said pint.
The pint of
Pint.
water. The pint of water is 1 pound.
Yes. So it can't ball up 321 trillion billion gallons of it could ball up 321 trillion billion
again,
gallons of water.
You forgot this proportionality thing.
Bro, I don't care
It's
about all
directly
that.
proportional
We
to its mass. I know you don't I know you don't because it doesn't make sense to you because I don't think you actually took physics. So let's be serious.
Okay, well, I could show you my high school. I could show you my high school diploma. I had to take physics if I got a high school diploma. I actually got a 95 in physics.
But come on, did you cheat?
Did I cheat?
Yeah.
Did I cheat
to get a 95?
No, I didn't cheat to get a 95, but I don't need big old long math.
So then why is this something that you don't seem to have ever used before?
No, because here's the thing. Because I'm not against math.
It sure sounds like it hurt you somehow.
No, it don't hurt me and stuff like that. Here's the thing. I'm not against math, but the thing is, you don't need mathematical equations that events to realize something so simple. I don't need a big old mathematical equation to know that I can pick up a heavy ass computer. If I can pick up a heavy computer, God damn it, I can pick up a small pencil. You need a math equation for that. It's not even that hard. It's simple.
But you see, the computer has more mass than the pencil. Therefore, the force is higher than the pencil. Because again, proportionality. It's the proportionality you're missing.
And tell me what type of sense that makes. You can come with all the mathematical equations you want to.
It doesn't.
But hold on, wait a minute.
Empirically confirmed.
Hold on, wait a minute.
I'm still wondering where did this quilt come from?
Really, bro?
And who made it?
Dude, really?
Is it like pieced together from different swatches?
It doesn't matter who made it
and what color
Just know that the quilt
is
bro. I'm really about to log off, bro, because you not even because you like really being. This is what you Grove Earthers do.
I'm just having fun. This is funny.
this is what you globe earthers do when you getting that work on your own channel. You like to try to run behind stupid idiocracy and stuff. But here's the thing: I don't care where it came from. Is the quilt heavier than a darn piece of paper? Is a quilt heavier?
Probably, yeah, unless it's a big piece of paper. Yeah.
Now, tell me what type of force is capable of folding up a quilt. Okay, let's put it. We ain't gonna say ball up. We're gonna make it simple for you. Fold up a quilt, but it can't fold up a piece of paper. If I could fold up a quilt in force, what make you think I can't fold up a piece of paper?
I have no clue what you're trying to get at.
See, this is simple, but you don't get it, bro.
How does this apply to gravity? Because gravity isn't about
it
to fold
doesn't
up
apply
a piece
to
of
gravity.
paper.
That's the thing. It doesn't apply to gravity because gravity does not exist because it's a force that got its own rules. It's supposed to be working with the other forces, but yet it does its own thing. That's just like being on a basketball team playing football. You're the only one playing football on the court, on a basketball court, when your team is playing basketball. That's what gravity is.
I don't play football or basketball. I play ultimate.
Bro, I'm not talking really, bro.
I play ultimate frisbee. Come on. Not okay, I don't play football or basketball.
Okay, let's talk about ultimate frisbee then.
There you go. Okay.
So can you throw a lighter frisbee easier than a heavier frisbee?
You're gonna have to apply more force to it when you're
and guess why? Because it's heavier. Because
exactly.
It's heavier.
Yeah, force.
Okay.
So you know the heavy like weight, force is weight. Weight is force. Do you know that?
We could say that, yeah. You could say that, yeah.
Thanks for
if you want to say
permission.
If you want to say weight is a force, if you want to say weight is a force,
it is.
But doesn't a force have acceleration to it?
Just for reference, Ryan N. I don't play disc golf very much. I play ultimate, and I don't usually say frisbee, but because people don't know that
you know what I'm talking
frisbee.
about.
Just I'm addressing somebody that just a second, Tacori.
Okay.
I say ultimate frisbee because people don't know what I'm talking about when I just say ultimate. So, all right,
don't run from this work. Don't run from this work.
But
here's the thing. I'm joking. But now here's the thing. If I could throw a frisbee with ease that's like 10 pounds, I can throw a frisbee that's 1 pound with ease. Easier than
easier,
10
exactly.
pounds.
Yeah.
But according to the laws of gravity, according to the forces of gravity, it will be able to throw the darn frisbee easier than it could throw the 1 pound frisbee.
Why?
I
don't know why. Where did you come to that conclusion?
Because you told us that gravity needs more mass. The more mass the more mass an object have, the stronger gravity is.
No, gravity is the same strength.
You told me that it was
is higher.
Okay, the force. Okay, no, you did. You said the mass. The greater the freaking you're not gonna do that. The greater the mass is, the more effective the force will be.
Greater mass.
The greater the
force.
Mass, the more effective the mass the greater the mass, the more effective the force gonna be.
Not the more effective, the larger. More mass, larger force.
So now you're giving your own definition of what gravity is. Because
that's I didn't invent that. This is just standard stuff.
The person
F equals ma.
We ain't gonna say you
standard
made that
physics
up.
There.
We ain't gonna say you made that up. The dumb ML for who made that up.
That made up F equals ma.
That made up F. Yeah, that tried to imply it to a force.
So the second law of motion, you don't think is any good?
No. I'm not talking about the law of motion. I'm talking about when you taking math and you turning math into a belief system by putting
it's empirically confirmed.
Into putting it into concepts that are not confirmed. You can put this mathematics in momentum.
All this is empirically confirmed.
Electromagnetism, but you can't put that in gravity until you prove that there's a force just like gravity. There ain't no strong, weak force.
Why do we need to have some other force other than gravity to prove gravity?
I'm saying, listen.
That doesn't make sense.
No, listen. I ain't say that. Just listen. We can use math because we can use real math for real concepts that are actually proven. But when you take real mathematical concepts and apply them to things that are not proven and still theory, it's called theoretical math, which means you're taking math and you're turning it into what is not a knowing system no more, but a belief system, but a religion.
Again, like I said, these are all empirically confirmed. This isn't
empirically confirmed.
This isn't a belief system. This
Okay,
isn't
okay,
guessing.
well,
this isn't a hypothesis.
If it's empirically confirmed,
and you're mixing, just so you know, you're mixing the word theory when you mean hypothesis.
Listen, now a hypothesis, it can also be a fact. You do know there's a logical hypothesis, right?
A hypothesis can be a fact. No.
Yes,
hypothesis
it can be.
Is a proposed solution, or a proposed.
There are different types of hypotheses, and one of them is a logical hypothesis. You do know that, right?
A logical hypothesis. Okay.
Yes.
Yeah.
Go ahead. A working hypothesis. A logical hypothesis is just basically basing everything based off logic. You know what I'm saying? Do you use logic? Yeah. I don't think you do, because you wouldn't have a long math equation to figure something so simple out.
That wasn't logical.
That wasn't logical?
No, it wasn't.
So wait a minute. So wait a minute. Let me ask you a question. So do you need math to realize, do you need a big ass math equation to realize the surface level of water in a cup?
To realize.
Just to realize if it's flat or if it's curved or something?
You would need to measure it.
You'll need to measure it?
Yes.
So if you get a cup of water right now and let it calm down, would you need to measure that surface to make sure it's level?
Yes, yeah. You'd want to measure it to make sure it's
I don't
flat.
I don't need to.
Yeah, I understand that you would not like science, and you wouldn't want to actually control for conflating variables.
I know you like to try to take simple things and make them hard and stuff like that. You know, there are things that you can figure out with simplicity, right?
Yeah, but when you extend them out,
so you against
they're going to be a problem.
You against making things easier.
I am not for or against simplicity. I am for accuracy.
Accuracy?
Yeah.
So is it accuracy like when you need to have a darn mathematical equation just to go to your kitchen in your house?
But like I said, I don't need a mathematical equation to go to my kitchen.
Okay. And you shouldn't need a mathematical equation to see that if water is calmed down in a cup or in a container, it's balanced and it's level.
Yeah, level.
Yes, it's level.
Yeah, level, conforming to the curvature of the liquid parts of the Earth's
I'm talking
surface.
about the surface.
Yeah. Level is a curve, so you know that's the definition.
Level.
Yeah,
straight.
level is a curve.
Straight.
But that's a different word. You said level. Do you want to change it to a different word than level?
Okay. Level. Look. All right. Straight.
Okay, straight. So the surface of water,
Let's
you're
keep it
saying
simple
is straight.
for you. Straight.
Yeah. Do you have measurements of the straightness? Of
I can show you a cup of water right now. You need measurements.
And what's the margin of error of that straightness?
What's the margin of error? I can show you.
Do you know how to do a margin of error?
I can show you. If I could share my screen. Can I share my screen?
Yeah, go ahead.
Let me see. Okay, let me go to the screen share.
Whenever. I don't know if you really know what a margin of error analysis is. We've got some people here that don't think that you've ever... let's see. Inquisitor Rurik says, I don't doubt Tacori took physics in high school, but you don't learn anything if you don't listen.
Well, tell him I don't think he have critical thinking. And,
well, he just heard it.
Yeah.
All right.
I just wanted him to know that. Okay. Let me see if I can share my screen.
Yeah, go ahead.
Can you... Let me share screen. Yeah, there we go. You see it?
Yep.
Okay, let me get to... Let me... Dang, you get your thing off.
So you just Googled calm water in a cup.
It's just that simple. It's just that simple.
Yeah, well, I mean,
It's
for,
just
for,
that simple.
for a simple person, it would be that simple. But for a person
Nah,
that
you gotta
that, you know,
understand. You gotta understand. Sometimes it's the simplest things that can
so you
destroy you.
say, but what is the margin of error of that
I'm gonna show you the
measurement?
margin of error. I'm gonna show you. There you go, right there. You see it?
Okay, what about
There
it?
you go, right there. So, tell me where's the margin of error of the curve right here?
I'm asking you, what's the margin of error of this particular picture
Where's the
here?
curve right here? Use your mathematics to
Yeah,
bring the curve out.
Sure. What is the focal length of that picture?
No, bring the mathematics.
I gladly. What is the focal length of that picture?
Dude, so you can't prove this
I'm
curve.
I just need a few
Sir,
questions
listen,
answered,
is
and I
it
will be
curved?
glad to do it. So,
Sir,
what is the
it curved?
focal length? Yes, it is curved, but what is the
It's
focal
curved.
length?
Okay, show
What
that
is
it's
the
curved.
observer's elevation?
Okay, hold on. Show that it's curved. Show that this image right here is curved.
Well, I know because there are measurements of the surface of the
Okay,
Earth.
measure it. Measure it right now. Measure this picture right now.
Well, I can't measure that particular one.
Okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
because of course it's on your
Let's
screen,
get another one.
and we don't know the details about it. We don't know the properties of the camera lens.
What about this one? Now we're gonna get a better one. What about
You're
this
just
one?
doing Google images? I mean,
I'm telling you, it's just
this
that
is
simple.
a new low in a debate for
It's
somebody
just
just
that
going to
simple.
Google images and saying
It's just that simple.
it looks
It's
flat, therefore
it's
it is
observation.
flat. That's all you have.
And you're gonna say, even though it's flat, it's not really flat.
It's been measured to be curved.
Okay, measure this. Measure this.
It
measure
wasn't
this picture
measured
right here.
from a camera, from a picture with an unknown camera. You're not going to measure it from that.
I tell you what, Mike, you get a picture of an ocean right now and you measure it and you find the curve of that ocean.
Sure, you bet. All right, hold on a second. You'll have to stop your sharing.
I'm talking about a view of the beach like this.
Yeah.
Not no fake picture, no damn globe.
Yep. Got it. Hold on. All right. I'll get it. Let's see. Got to change my my thing. Are you still sharing? You'll have to stop sharing.
Yeah, let me stop the share screen. Let me see, which one do you stop the share screen?
It's up at the top of the screen.
I got it. I don't want to see no drop of water needed.
Yeah. All right.
You can't get mad at me for figuring things out with simplicity.
No, it just
I mean, I can go to advanced things, but that's just gonna be like
yeah. You do need to go to advanced things.
No. Look, I'm not denying that, but here's the thing: you got to know when to go to advanced things and know when to go to use simplicity.
All right, here you
simple
go.
concepts.
You see that? The left to right curve of the horizon.
This a insufficient source.
It's what?
This is an insufficient source, huh?
An insufficient source, you're saying?
Yes, it's insufficient.
Why?
We're talking about like just water, period. We're talking about water, period.
You haven't seen the picture yet. And
okay, let me see the picture.
All right, then you've already declared that it's insufficient without looking at it.
Okay.
That tells me no. Here's the problem, Tacori. That tells me that you are dishonest. You didn't even look at it, and you pre-declared that it was insufficient without even looking at it. No, you are dishonest. You have just declared yourself to be dishonest.
Oh, I just declared myself to be dishonest. I'm asking you show the picture. I thought that you was just showing the source. That's why. All
right. Well, I mean, you have.
I thought you was just showing the source.
You have put on yourself that you are dishonest. So here's what I'm going to do, since you have acknowledged that you're a liar and you don't care about the truth.
I'm a liar? Oh, I'm a liar?
Yeah, because you didn't even see the picture.
Okay, let me see the picture.
No, it's too late.
Okay, so you ain't.
You
Okay,
already
so,
indicted
and this
yourself.
is why I say it's insufficient because you're not showing
already
me the picture.
indicted yourself.
So you're not showing me the
You
picture.
declared that it was insufficient before
Okay,
you saw
show me the
it.
picture. Show me the picture.
Tacori, you already declared that
Okay,
you would
so
reject
so
it without
the
looking
picture's
at it.
insufficient then. The picture.
So you say without
okay,
looking
show
at
me
it.
the picture.
It is
Show me
the
the picture.
ultimate of dishonesty to
Show me the
declare that
picture.
no more.
Okay,
You're
okay.
done. You have
Okay.
declared that you don't care about accuracy or truth or reality. You have dismissed it
Listen, bro,
without
listen.
looking at it. You are confirmed liar.
Bro, you dismiss flat Earth without looking at it.
I know flat Earth better than most flat Earthers.
No, you do not. Trust me. No,
Because
you do not.
I know all of the different
So
explanations that they
did
have
you-
for gravity. I've looked at all the different ridiculous attempts at maps.
Listen? We ain't talk. We talk about the flat Earth concept, not flat Earth is trying to attack globe Earth.
Yeah.
concept.
You don't
Flat
have
Earth-
any model. You don't have an
Exactly.
explanation
See,
for
that's
downward acceleration.
disingenuous, 'cause we
You don't have
actually
a
do
map.
have a model.
You don't have navigation. You can't do celestial navigation. You don't
You
know
don't
how
have
airplanes
seasons.
do their flights.
You don't have
Of course
seasons.
we have
You don't.
seasons.
No, you do not. You don't have daytime.
You
don't
don't-
have nighttime. You don't even know how the sun look at night. You don't know how to. I mean,
The
not
sun is on the
moon
other side of the
at night.
earth at night.
You don't even know that the
have.
sun. You can't even explain the
absolute
sun and the
dishonest
moon in the
person.
daytime.
All right, Tacori, your dishonesty has exposed yourself.
Let me see the Let me see the picture. Let's see
All
if
right.
it's. Let's see if I'm wrong.
We've got from Pilo 1408. Life isn't simple, dude. Absolutely, and simple dude thinks it must be. We've got Tim Pryor says MC2, you should not allow flat earthers
Can
to
you
use the word science until they can name one field of science that backs them up. Hey, very good.
Oh,
name,
what field of science?
Name one field of science that backs you up, and then I'll be asking for citations. Go ahead.
Oh, citations.
Yep,
The
go
fact
ahead.
that the fact
ahead.
that the
A
that
field
the
of
moon
science.
has-
What
the
is the
fact-
field? The field of science that backs
Oh,
you up.
what you
Go
mean,
ahead.
like physics or something like
The
that? Like
field of science that backs
oh,
you
the
up.
scientific experiment.
The
That's what you want?
field of science that backs you up.
The fact that the sun,
The fact that the sun. That's it.
the sun,
Wow, that sucks.
the sun,
Um,
the fact that the sun is
Don-
close to us and not.
Donald
93
Trump's
million miles
Bone
away.
Spurs says, "Gotta light a flurf." Absolutely. When you pre-declare something is insufficient when you've not even looked at it, you
Can
are
you
a liar.
show me the? Can you show me the picture then? I'm
No,
asking
you
show me the
pre-declared
picture.
it to be wrong.
Okay.
You
look,
don't
okay,
care
look.
about exploring
I'm
an
asking
evidence.
you. I'm asking you.
Pre-declare that it's wrong.
I'm asking.
So
Okay,
too
so
bad.
so until you show me
bad.
the picture, is insufficient. I showed you my
exactly.
pictures.
You have declared that you're
I
a liar.
showed you my pictures.
You declared that you
I showed
don't
you my
care
pictures.
about accuracy.
Okay.
You
I showed
dismissed evidence before it was even presented.
How you
Classic
think flat
flurf.
Earth? Oh, really?
Classic
how you think,
flurf.
How you think flat Earthers feel when you globe Earthers do that?
We just analyze your data and say, dude, you didn't even
We
take into account
analyze your
conflating
data.
variables. No, you don't. You never do.
Yes, we did. Yes, we did. Yes, we
You
did.
don't even
Yes,
know
we
how to
did.
use the formulas.
You don't even, bro.
Properly.
First of all, you went to the Cambridge experiment in our back chat, and I asked you to break the equations down. And you
Not
couldn't
my
even
job
do
to
it.
understand the math for you. If
Exactly.
you don't
So
understand
you
the
don't
math,
understand
that's
those
your
math.
fault,
As a matter
not
of fact,
my
let's
fault.
put it up. Let's put it up real quick.
All right.
Let's
No,
pull it up.
I'm reading
Because-
super chats now. Tim Pryor says, also, millions of people have jobs depending on gravity's existence. So sure, it doesn't exist.
Because
People
they
don't
believe
think-
it.
No,
because
their
they
jobs
believe in gravity.
depend on it. It's not a belief. It's their jobs depend on it. Their
You know,
jobs
when you lie
depend
to
on it.
somebody and they believe in that, they
No, it's not
say-
belief. It's that they need to use gravity in their daily life.
Hey,
and if
hey,
it's
hey.
wrong, their job could not function.
Hey, listen. Check this
Millions
out.
of people have jobs depending on it.
Can you
people-
break this problem down?
So people don't think things through, do they? That
Hey,
must
hey.
be your
Hey, Mr. Michael Toon, can you break this problem down or not?
I can, but you
Can you
can't.
solve it?
Your
Okay, solve it right
inability
now.
to understand the math isn't my problem. It's your
Okay,
problem.
okay,
You
solve
haven't
it.
done differential equations. You haven't done calculus. You haven't done matrices. I'm not going to teach them to you.
Solve
You
it.
have to come into it understanding them before.
So you can't solve it.
I
Okay,
can,
that's-
but I'm
okay.
not doing the math for you.
Okay, don't do it for me. Do it for the people
Perfect.
that's on the panel.
All right, we've got Inquisitor Rurik says, damn,
Okay, you
Tacori,
can't do
critical
it.
thinking is way too complicated, though. I thought we should have everything be simple. Things aren't simple. They don't have to be simple. Tim Pryor says he claims to
Oh,
have
so-
passed physics, but he knows gravity. I call BS. Yes. There's no way
All
you
right,
got
well, tell him to come up here.
95%.
Well, tell him to come up here and see if it's BS.
Yeah, we can all see your BS.
Okay.
We've got Annabelle F.
Bring
says
them all up here.
is he saying gravity is the only force in existence?
No,
And if
I'm
he
not.
sees something floating
Gravity
in the air
doesn't exist.
like a soap bubble, gravity can't exist?
Gravity
All
cannot
you've done
exist.
so far, Tacori, is show that you don't actually understand how to apply gravity.
I don't think you understand how to apply gravity. You
Steve
cannot even prove gravity.
Well, you didn't show what was wrong with my math. So Steve
I did show.
6464.
I showed you what was wrong with your concept about nature.
No, you didn't
still
show
not-
what was wrong with my
Yes,
math.
I did. I
You
showed
just
you what
showed
was
that
wrong
you
with
don't
the nature.
understand it. It went
Because
over
here's
your
the
head.
thing: if you can't
All
show
right.
me, if you can't prove this in
I'm,
reality,
dude, yeah, we already did. Steve 6464
no, you
says,
did. Okay, so what force? What force? proves
Tacori,
gravity?
there is nothing more logical than math.
More logical than math.
There is
Then
nothing more
tell that
logical than
person-
math.
Then tell that person to come up here and use the mathematics to try to prove a force that's strong and weak at the same time.
It's proportional to the mass.
Oh, so it's a strong and weak force at the same time. So it's a contradicting force out there, right?
NA Heat Shield says NA wants you to have more golf discs. I don't have a lot of disc golf discs, but I have,
Hey, are we
I have-
finished here?
if you want. I'm just reading super chats. You already
All right.
declared that you don't care about evidence, so I mean it's on you to live in that disgusting world that you put yourself in. Tacori, show me where the math touched you. Says Obi-Wan. I think he's gone. Yeah, he's gone. To nobody's surprise. I mean, when he's like, this is insufficient, he didn't even see the picture. Didn't even look at the picture. I mean, how much more dishonest can you get than that? Harry, heat shields. I have a ton of ultimate discs. So many. There's a bag of them right here on the floor. So yeah, I need to send them. I have one. The ultimate disc is going to Clive Wells, I think. Still have to send it. I'm sorry, people. Obi-Wan, show me where the math touched you. Let's see. Cretan Ball. When not knowing the nuclear forces becomes an Abbott and Costello routine. This is why we come here week after week. Yeah. All right. Oh, we got one from the troll Ramen Noodles Ortiz. Says gravity has never been directly detected by itself. Well, I don't think that's correct. There's mctoon.net/G has a whole pile of them. So all right, I have to work backwards in time. I'm going to jump back to when Brian was on. Now, let's see. Mr. Malort says, my avatar is Brian going to space by a leaf blower. Jose JG original. Yeah, I watched when he drew that. I liked Jose's artwork. That's fun. Second best Bob says, for £5, ask Brian how he's working on his map. What's he actually doing? You know, he's not working on a map. Neither is Rachie 50, because in December she said she was working on a map and it's going to be amazing. All you need to do is do something. Distances of flights, that should work. Or angles of celestial objects, that should work. Nothing works. They all have to be like, well, maybe the sun is something other than. Well, then go ahead. That's your hypothesis. And that's all. That's all they have is the hypothesis. Earth is Life says the name of the game for flat earthers is now to claim reasons for specific phenomena, i.e. sunsets is everything else other than the most obvious. Yes, the reason for a sunset is insert nonsense other than just, something blocking it. Earth is Life says, Brian, BLS is the Blues Cavendish works so well. It's not in the University of Tennessee, where they've gotten it even more accurate, it's in the University of Tennessee, right? Where they've gotten even more accurate measurements. Yeah, he made a great Cavendish type experiment measurement there. Teresa B says Cat understands gravity. Brian doesn't. Yes. Mark Sermon, please post or mention URLs on your site with gravity and the ocean horizon curve for any flat earthers in the chat so they don't think you're dodging. Oh, well, happily. Of course, you go to my website and just search for stuff, but mctoon.net/G is where you can get the gravity. There is the left to right curve of the horizon that I was about to show, but he pre-dismissed it. mc2.net/R is measurements of the radius of the Earth's, and then mc2.net/spin is measurements of the rotation of the Earth. But if you just go to my website, you can find this kind of just an unordered list of them. So we got many. Karen says, I don't get basic math or geometry and never did physics 101, but let's talk relativity. Yes, that's the thing. None of them have the even the foundation to handle F equals ma. They can't handle that for the most part. And they want to talk relativity. Sorry, there's a prerequisite for talking relativity. A couple years of oh, okay. We got another cat on the way. A couple years of calc and some matrices. There you go, Turtle. How you doing, Turtle? Meow meow. He's so noisy. He always complains if you hold him, but he's happy. Here we go. He's happy if he sits on you. He's the boss. Thank you. All right. Michael Acosta says, question for the flirt: is your head up your butt for the warmth, or just so you don't have to hear the evidence for globe? It just is. Tiny Captain says, be honest, they may start working on a map, but accurate it will never be. An accurate flat earth map is impossible to make. It is, Tiny Captain, it is. Robeeb says, I tried to make the dumbest comment before the show started, but Brian comes in with the acceleration has to be upward and steals my trophy. Indeed he did. But Brian's good for some things. That's one of them. 3 Rounds says, Brian, you're grasping at non-existent straws to hold onto your cult beliefs. Just ignore everything, Brian, right? Just ignore empirical measurements, or ignore the success of all the things that have happened because you don't like it. That's all you got. Lumpy, that come from lifting it up. Yeah, Brian's like, he's like, when you lift it up, it came out of equilibrium. I'm sorry, that's not physics. You don't do physics by, you lifted it up and it came out of equilibrium. In physics, we actually do things that have numbers, units. So you can calculate the amount of work done by lifting it up, right? And then that went into its kinetic energy. And when you drop it, it goes down. That kinetic energy difference there was expended. And when you do the math, you'll find out that that kinetic energy and the acceleration due to gravity, there's a relationship there. Wow. It's people. Obi-Wan, Brian, so the pencil began its life at the point prior to him lifting up. How did it get from the tree? Yeah. That doesn't... They're like, that's the equilibrium. They don't... It's this vague garbage because they know they can't answer it. I have the $10,000 gravity challenge from 3 years ago. Nobody's come close to that one either. The 2 people that have tried to present solutions did not even read it. You're not gonna Anyway, Sean Hawkins for $5 says, Brian, what happens when I dig a hole under a rock? Will it hover in midair? It was in equilibrium, Brian. It should just stay there because it's in equilibrium. Pilo 1408. So if I push a rock downhill on a slope, will it pop back up into equilibrium? It must. It must. And Tacori, he wouldn't let me get into it. I was gonna go through. We're gonna look up some coefficients of friction and apply it to see how much horizontal force you're gonna have to apply to it. He didn't. It was the math was over his head already. Sean Hawkins again says, Brian, humble yourself like you demand of others. Humility is the first step to learning. You are not humble, therefore you are unable to learn. Yep. 3Ron says, my phone is registering 9.8 meters per second squared just sitting on my desk with its accelerometer. Why? Yes, you can place a device place an object that's in equilibrium on a scale, and third law of motion, register a downward force. Measure the downward force. Lael says, it's cool that background doesn't matter. I'm going to go get a job at American Choppers. I mean, if background doesn't matter, you could just go be an architect. Design bridges. William Foley says, I know you like Brian, and he makes for a great dumpster fire. But good Lord, he is so far upper left. Listening to him makes my teeth hurt. Do I like Brian? He's more willing to try than others, right? Oh, Tacori's trying to talk trash in me. He claimed that I got beat up on gravity. Oh dear. Keith M says, again, I'm tired of these flirts insulting those of us who do research and teach physics just because they don't understand high school level physics. That's it. That's all they have is they cling to their misunderstanding. It is sad. Mini Karen Flurf, you don't just like the result. Tune. That's my line. It totally was. This is what it came up with, what he was saying. And I'm like, I love the result. Teresa B, what does Brian think about terminal velocity? Oh, they don't understand that either. They can't handle friction. They can't fathom that multiple forces connect simultaneously. Atlas 6355 says, you have broken the bottom of the barrel with Tacori. You just wait 15 minutes. Obi-Wan says, it doesn't matter. Quote, it doesn't matter. And quote, I don't have to explain that. And various other word salads. Typical idiot flurf arguments. Ready, set, Mike. I like that. Mike. For 5 Canadians says, this is some sister cousin level of education here. I think that's when Tacori showed up. The Geistview says, to the FE, why when you fill a bucket with water, it gets heavier? The density of the water doesn't change, but its mass does. Yeah. He thinks that somehow gravity is selective. It doesn't understand it's proportional to weight, to mass. Lael says, Tacori, what weighs more, a pound of feathers or a pound of flour? I said that to him in chat there. Obi-Wan, Tacori, what weighs more, 200 pounds of feathers or 200 pounds of tools? Also, what color is a brown horse? What color is a brown horse? All right. Tim Pryor says, he talks common sense, so basically he's saying his common sense tells him he's smarter than all the scientists in the world. Yeah, I'm sending all these to him. the good ones. Geistview says, if he doesn't feel like he's being pulled down, then why is it harder to go up a ladder, but easier to go down? According to him, it should be the same. Said he'll have nothing. Judy Bassett, for €5, says, before Newton discovered gravity, everything was just floating around. I like how they're like, discovered gravity. They didn't discover it. They explained it. They figured it. They figured it out better. William Foley, Tacori, for $5. Tacori, go find your high school physics teacher and apologize. Can you imagine? Like in physics, you do F equals ma. You do the kinematics equations for gravity, and he's like, you gotta prove it. Like, you did it in high school. If you took physics, you did it. Lord of Luminous Pooh for $5 says, I can explain it to you, but I can't understand it to you, my dear Fleur. Yeah, he was expecting me to explain to him the math of one of the papers that I sent him. I'm like, it's a summation. You can't even understand a summation. I'm not. You don't have the prerequisites. Mr. Unite for the G-Wind says he's conflating physics with phys ed in 11th grade. Oh, that's a good one. Oh, he got a 95% in Phi Ed. Indie Tiger's Sci-Fi Review says, Tacori, which weighs more, a pound of gold or a pound of feathers? We have 3 variations of that. Like, there's no chance he did high school physics. Nothing. He was so far behind. All right. I got a bunch there. Skipping down to Earthless Life says, use my images. Of the, you mean the I know you've got a bunch of good images of the front to back curve, right? Of things getting covered bottom up. Raymond or Ramen Noodles Ortiz comes in again claiming that gravity hasn't been directly measured, except for, of course, mz2.net/G has 18 of them. NANA for $6.66 says, I believe that Tacori is not too bright. I agree. All right. Remember, I've got in 10 minutes, I got another one. So Pat in the chat says for $2, absence of evidence is evidence of absence. Gotta light a flurf. Absolutely. Real Cygnus says for $2, you're too kind to these people, but still the best. Well, thank you. Thank you very much for that. Real Cygnus. And then Mike71 says, what if I'm sorry. What if you drop a rock through a trapdoor? Well, yeah, if it's at equilibrium, then it should stay there, right? Yes. All right. Let me make sure I got everything. I gotta take a Riley. I had a lot of beverages, and I have another one coming in 10 minutes. Saying that I don't understand it. Just to Corey, all you need to do is show the math. Scientists can do this. If you can't, that's your problem, not mine. If you took physics, you should be able to do it. So, all right, I'm caught up. I hope so. Oh, I have a few. Hold on a second. There were some member chats I want to get. The member chats don't show up in the same UI that I use, so I have to do it manually. Come on. Oh no. Seriously. YouTube kind of sucks on their super chat thing. All of the member super chats are gone from the UI. So I have a thing that scrapes the regular the super chat, but it doesn't get the member super chats. So I know I read one. Oh crap. It just went away. Why did it go away? So he wants me to solve the equation for him. No, that's your problem, not mine. Not my problem. You don't understand it. That's on you. Yes. Oh, yeah. And his a kilogram is 0.414 pounds, according to him. Oh dear. He gets it all wrong. Okay, let me see if reloading the page here brings it up. Yeah. Mark's sermon. Yeah. I have that exact thing. It's if this then that, but it doesn't get member super chats. It leaves them. So I'm sorry, people. I don't have them. I can't. So YouTube's viewer activity tab, it just says it's just empty. It doesn't let you track things or anything. It just goes away. It's garbage. Anyway, thank you everybody for this. Be ready, because Tacori may be you may think he was the bottom, but Cracker is coming up. And Cracker, if you remember from last week, craziness, lots of craziness. So yes, thank you to members, thank you to super chats, thank you to patrons, and thank you for watching. All of them are appreciated. Let me get the outro here. There it is. I have it ready, and we'll see you in about 8 minutes.